Chapter 100. Zhu Yan's fist produced a deafening sonic boom. However, what petrified everyone present was that the tattered bronze cauldron remained motionless in the air. Tai Bao's sinister laughter spread throughout the audience. This was too awesome, daring to speak to Zhu Yan in such a manner. However, someone recognized Tai Bao's appearance. Lu Qingtian and the others wanted to laugh. Wasn't this the giant panda? It was different for what he remembered. The lazy and clumsy giant panda was now much more nimble. How is this possible? What kind of treasure is this cauldron? It's already rotten to this extent, yet it still has such power. Someone sucked in a breath of cold air. He discovered that Zhu Yan's entire fist was bleeding and his bones were cracked. It was as if he had just hammered a cosmic star, almost breaking Zhu Yan's fist. Bastard! Zhu Yan was furious to the extreme. His eyes were bloodshot. His celestial body had been snatched away, and he had even been humiliated. Zhu Yan had never experienced such humiliation on Earth. The tattered bronze cauldron was actually able to suppress the celestial body's energy on its own. This moved Zhu Yan. His heart was filled with disbelief. What level of treasure was this cauldron? It could even suppress the celestial body's fluctuations. Rumble. Zhu Yan recovered to the extreme in an instant. All the secret treasures on his body were activated. His battle prowess increased by a large margin. He lifted his palm and pressed down on the bronze cauldron, wanting to snatch away this supreme treasure. Rumble. Zhu Yan pulled on the bronze cauldron. The cauldron was connected to his bloodline. The cauldron suddenly tore through the air and appeared in front of Zhu Yan. Withdraw. Hurry up and leave. Tai Baokai nimbly crawled out. He could already feel Zhu Yan's fury. It was like a 1,000-year-old resentful woman, suffused with a fury that could overturn rivers and seas. Zhu Yan's attack missed his target, but it caused the heaven and earth to tremble. A large crack ran through several li of land. Zhu Yan and Tai Baokai were seen running wildly under the dumbfounded gazes of the people around them. They were about to leave the underground palace. Zhu Yan still wanted to see what was inside the giant palace. The celestial body was only a precious treasure that was used to suppress the underground palace. One could imagine that inside this giant palace, there should be treasures that were even more terrifying than the celestial body. However, the Tai Baokai ran faster than a rabbit. Zhu Yan suddenly felt that the things inside were not so easy to snatch. Stop right there. Zhu Yan was enraged. He leaped forward, a purple glow gushing out of his body. He extended his palm, and the divine power in his body surged out, forming a giant purple handprint in the air. This attack was extremely shocking. The purple palm covered the sky and covered the sun. It was as if a huge mountain was covering over, and it began to suppress Zhu Yan and the others. Tai Baokai turned around calmly, its eyes full of treachery. The people around them vaguely felt that something was amiss. Lu Qingtian and the others were running for their lives, as if they had encountered something extremely dangerous. Zhu Yan had just sent them a message, telling them to leave quickly. Lu Qingtian and the others did not hesitate at all. They led their men and charged out. Boom! Suddenly, the entire underground palace began to shake. The magnitude of the shaking was extremely shocking, especially the 9,999 stairs. One after another, they began to collapse on their own, as if losing the support of the celestial body. More than 9,000 steps sank rapidly. The giant palace was like a divine palace suspended above the 9 heavens, filled with the domineering aura of an emperor. However, the giant palace now faintly flowed with a supreme aura that could annihilate all life in the universe. The moment this aura was released, the giant palace trembled. Some of the people closest to the giant palace felt as if their bodies were about to split apart, and they were in so much pain that they wished they were dead. Leave quickly. The onlookers were all trembling and almost paralyzed on the ground. This terrifying scene was simply like an unparalleled giant awakening from its slumber. This aura was like an ancient dragon, causing Zhu Yan to be both surprised and delighted. In the face of this aura, Zhu Yan gave up on chasing after Su Yan. He could tell that the treasure hidden in the giant palace was definitely a supreme treasure of the universe. It was not something a celestial body-level treasure could compare to. Everyone was frantically running for their lives. What kind of treasure is in the giant palace? Su Yan's eyes burned with desire. He sensed strands of energy that was so imposing that it could penetrate through a star field awakening, causing him to pale. Wasn't this treasure too powerful? It's a terrifying treasure, but it's not something we can take away now. Although Tai Baokai was envious, he cherished his life and knew that this treasure was not something they could touch. Boom! The movements were getting more and more shocking. The entire underground palace was shaking and showing signs of collapsing. What kind of treasure is that? How can it be so strong? Could it be a divine weapon? I think it's an immortal weapon. The entire giant palace was becoming more and more majestic. It was like an immortal palace of the great Tao. Resplendent, immortal light gushed out from the open door. The frantically running people were scared silly. How ridiculous was this weapon? In the next moment, Zhu Yan's heart ached terribly. He saw countless secret treasures and divine weapons shattering on their own. This wisp of aura was, after all, too terrifying. During the process of awakening, the flowing aura had shattered a large number of divine weapons. However, in the midst of the shattered divine weapons, an extremely turbulent dragon roar was awakened. Two powerful weapons were awakening on their own. They were full of divinity and seemed to have given birth to independent wills. They burst out rapidly and broke away from the giant palace. The moment they came out, a force strong enough to shake the starry sky swept across the whole place. Oh my God, look, look! The fleeing people were greatly shaken. The first thing they saw was a bronze chariot. When it flew out, it was only the size of a palm. It was sparkling and translucent, as if it was made of bronze divine iron. However, the moment it flew out of the giant palace, the bronze chariot rapidly enlarged. With a rumble, it was filled with waves that caused the void to tremble. This bronze chariot was as shocking as a huge star in the universe. The aura it spewed out caused the surroundings to rumble. It even charged through the void on its own, causing the void to distort with the pressure of its wheels. Whoa! It was also a bronze sword. It had been sealed in Emperor Qin's tomb for thousands of years, but it was still dazzling. The entire body of the bronze sword was densely covered with mysterious patterns that seemed to be carved in the shape of a dragon. What left them dumbfounded was that there was not only one bronze sword, but a total of 9. The 9 bronze swords were carved with dragon patterns. Just like the 9 dragon sword, they were sharp and terrifying. They were even more powerful than the bronze chariot. 2 heaven-defying weapons flew out of the giant palace. Tai Baotsai's eyes turned red. He said excitedly, "Dharma armament. These are Dharma armament. There are 2 Dharma armament. Damn it, this beast god has miscalculated." Tai Baokai almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Zhu Yan was not in a hurry to retreat. At this moment, he recovered and leaped into the sky, charging towards the bronze chariot. This was an ownerless treasure. With Zhu Yan's strength, he should be able to take the bronze chariot away. Furthermore, this treasure was extremely powerful. It was not something a divine weapon could compare to. It was a Kuwait treasure refined by a strong person in the universe. Kid, hurry up and get Lord True Dragon to come out and take away the 9 killing swords. I estimate that this is a domain-type supreme treasure. Its value is much more terrifying than the bronze chariot. Tai Baokai was anxious. The giant palace was now very dangerous. With their strength, the death rate was too high if they rushed back. Su Yan was naturally envious. He quickly thought for a while, and his entire body instantly lit up. At the moment Su Yan's spine rose and fell, the dragon-shaped pillar gushed out. However, at this moment, the dragon-shaped pillar, under the evolution of Su Yan's primordial spirit, was surrounded by layers of a supreme, true dragon's aura. Because of the strength of the dragon totem, Su Yan remembered this aura. Just as Su Yan revealed this aura, The 9 dragon-patterned swords roared and resonated with Su Yan's aura. "Come back." Zhu Yan's furious voice exploded. He naturally knew that the 9 dragons treasure sword was stronger. However, he had to suppress the bronze chariot in order to use the bronze chariot to suppress the 9 dragons treasure sword. However, it was too late to say anything now. The 9 dragons treasure sword flew towards Su Yan. A total of 9 bronze swords were suffused with a peerless sharpness. Ha ha ha! Su Yan faced the sky and laughed. The 9 dragons treasure sword had already flown to him and was revolving around Su Yan. The 9 swords resonated with the true dragon's aura that Su Yan was releasing. The more this was the case, the more Tai Baokai believed that Su Yan was a true dragon's disciple. Otherwise, he would not be able to imitate the true dragon's aura. Hurry up and do it. Don't just stand there. Su Yan held the bronze cauldron. Tai Baokai quickly formed a series of secret hand seals. The bronze cauldron suddenly enlarged, and the cauldron's mouth was like the sky. It fiercely swallowed the 9 dragons treasure sword. Tai Baokai was overjoyed. The harvest this time was too great. The astral body and the 9 dragons treasure sword. Give it to me. Zhu Yan was angered to the extreme. He was still subduing the bronze chariot, but he was not willing to give up on the 9 dragons treasure sword. He once again struck out with his palm, which transformed into a huge energy palm that slapped toward Su Yan. There were even people nearby who rushed over. They were also envious. Su Yan's harvest was even more astonishing than Zhu Yan's. They had to seize the bronze cauldron. It's already mine. Zhu Yan stopped dreaming. Su Yan took out the golden iron staff. The divine ability, runes inscribed on the golden iron staff, erupted. This golden iron staff flowed with a monstrous force that swept across the wilderness. The group of people who were pouncing towards him were smashed away by the energy ripples radiating from the giant palace. As for the energy palm that Zhu Yan struck out, it was blown apart by Tai Baocai's golden thunder bamboo. Rumble! Just as Zhu Yan was about to unleash a second attack, the aura gushing out from the giant palace surged violently. It was as if a slumbering, immemorial giant was waking up from its slumber. The divine light from the entire giant palace rushed into the heavens and pierced through the great cosmos. The boundless, immortal radiance was like a silver river. It soared up and cut open the starry sky. Many celestial bodies were cut open. What a terrifying scene this was. The whole earth was shaken by this aura. Immortal radiance shot into the sky one after another. They were as thick as a mountain and entwined with boundless divine might. The aura it released covered the whole earth. Millions and millions of creatures had their heads fall to the ground. Even the powerful demon kings were crushed. What a frightening treasure! Su Yan and Tai Baokai were stunned. There was an artifact erected in the giant palace. It was entwined with primal chaos and couldn't be seen clearly. However, the moment it awakened on its own, the sun and moon were destroyed. The primal chaos was like a vast ocean. The scene was monstrous. The entire underground giant palace couldn't withstand this aura and began to collapse. There were also people who died on the spot. They couldn't withstand the fluctuations of the aura emitted by the giant palace and exploded into a bloody mist. Chapter 101. Let's go. Let's hide first. This Zhu Yan brat has gone crazy. Let's go. Su Yan and Tai Baokai rushed out, not daring to stay for even a moment. They were too strong. Zhu Yan would not let them go. Rumble. The entire underground palace was rippling with destructive airflow. As time passed, it became more and more shocking. Su Yan and the rest ran as far as they could. Rumble. The entrance of Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum rumbled again. Zhu Yan swooped out at an extremely fast speed. His primordial spirit swept out in all directions, searching for traces of Su Yan and Tai Baokai. Su Yan, my brother, where are you? Do you think you can escape from my grasp? Zhu Yan was furious. His eyes were like lightning. His eyes were red, and his heart was bleeding. The 9 dragons' treasured sword, the astral body, and the initial sutra were all fine as long as he could capture Su Yan alive. As long as he could capture Su Yin alive, he would get an opportunity that would change his life. The people around Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum were shocked. Who had angered Zhu Yin? Let's get out of here first. Su Yin had already mastered the qi of earth veins to cover his and Tai Baocai's traces. Even if Zhu Yin was strong now, it would be difficult for him to penetrate the qi of earth veins. What happened in Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum? At this moment, the Huaxiao alliance was not calm. After all, the eruption of Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum was too terrifying. Only God knew what kind of treasure was hidden here that could awaken and shake the 9 heavens and 10 earths. The mausoleum was like a giant monster that had awakened from its slumber. Once the treasure was completely unsealed and rushed out, it would definitely lead to a disaster. Su Yin faintly sensed that the mausoleum had evolved into a pattern that connected heaven and earth. The 49 giant pillars had awakened and were using the method of sealing heaven and earth to suppress the energy fluctuations emitted by the treasure. If the treasure's energy fluctuations were not suppressed, the power of the mysterious treasure would be enough to sweep across the entire earth. Many people would die, and it would be the end of the universe. What kind of treasure has appeared? This movement is too scary. I'm so far away from Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum, but I feel like my soul has been destroyed. Someone asked a passerby who had escaped with a pale face. Something big must have happened in Emperor Qin's mausoleum. Even war god Zhu Yin is furious. Moreover, the commotion just now was so big. I guess the experts who went to Emperor Qin's mausoleum this time will suffer heavy casualties. Everyone was concerned. However, this aura that permeated the universe did not exist for long before it slowly went dormant. However, there were large cracks everywhere within 1,000 li, and many regions had sunk down. This scene made them shiver in fear. Who angered God of War Zhu Yin? Some onlookers saw that Zhu Yin was furious and seemed to be searching for traces of someone. However, no matter how hard Zhu Yin searched, he could not find Su Yan's whereabouts. He had miscalculated. It should be safe. Zhu Yin must be mad. Su Yin had already run to the wilderness 1,000 miles away. He did not know where he was. Su Yan's mood was heavy. After all, Zhu Yan's prestige in the Huaxiao alliance was too strong. He was also the #1 expert. If Zhu Yin inverted the truth and smeared Su Yan's reputation, Su Yin would not have a place in the Huaxiao alliance. They found an ancient cave. Tai Baocai got a few big stones to seal the cave. He bared his teeth and said, "Take out the bronze cauldron. Let me see how strong the sword is." Su Yin glanced at Tai Baocai and said calmly, "Baocai, did you forget something?" Hearing this, Tai Baocai was stunned. His pair of big ears instantly stood up. He glared at Su Yin and threatened, "Kid, don't tell me you want to take it for yourself. Without this beast god's advice, how could you have taken the 9-dragon sword and the astral body? Also, we agreed to split them equally." Tai Baocai, don't play this game with me. We worked together to take the astral body. This thing can be divided equally. Su Yin snorted. As for the 9-dragon sword, I risked my life to take it. If I did not use the secret technique that Master Jinlong passed on to me, how could I have taken a 9-dragon sword? Don't you think it makes sense? When Su Yin mentioned Jinlong, Tai Baocai was speechless. He circled around Su Yin. His glittering and translucent fur was about to stand up. He said in an unfriendly tone, "How about this? You call Master Jinlong out and let him judge for us. Didn't I say that Master Jinlong is sleeping? Unless I am in a life-and-death situation, he will not come out. Don't use Master Jinlong to pressure me." Tai Baocai said angrily, "How about this? You pass me another part of the ancient scripture, and I will give you the imperial treasure technique." Tai Baocai. Su Yin suddenly stood up and said unfathomably, "Are you sure you don't want to give me the imperial treasure technique? And you want to steal the ancient scripture that Master Jinlong passed on to me? Who wants to steal the imperial treasure technique? This is a deal," Tai Baocai said eloquently, "and you can't beat me." As soon as Tai Baocai's words fell, the void suddenly filled with waves of oppressive qi. This was a palm that covered the sky and covered the sun. It was surrounded by a towering aura that seemed to be able to grab a star. Tai Baokai trembled in fright. It was too late for him to run because the palm was too close. He was caught in an instant. Suyin, what are you doing? Tai Baokai screamed. At this moment, Su Bingshuang had awakened. Her elegant demeanor was peerless, and she directly used her Saint Chi hand to grab Tai Baokai. When Su Bingshuang walked out of the Phoenix hairpin, she noticed Tai Baocai's appearance. Her big eyes lit up, and she said excitedly, "Brother, where did you get this panda? This is a rare breed." This rare breed completely angered Tai Baokai. He howled, "You are the rare breed. I am the beast god." Beast god, do you understand? Beast god? Su Bingshuang said in surprise. Brother, did the panda get provoked? He dares to call himself the beast god? He did get provoked. Su Yi nodded seriously and said, he probably has some unbearable memories. Look at his conduct. He is not a good bird. He needs to be taught a lesson. Their exchange of words greatly damaged Tai Baocai's mind. Pandas have always been kind. Now that one has appeared, we can definitely find a second one. I think we should find a female one. Maybe she can give birth to a cub. Su Bingshuang was excited and said excitedly. Her unusually excited tone made Tai Baokai dumbfounded. He lowered his head and did not dare to speak. Aya. Su Yin scratched his head and said, Isn't this too easy for him? Find him a Dao companion? This can't be. It's too easy for him. Yes. Su Yin, you are right. Tai Baokai said with a sad face. What's wrong with that? Su Bingshuang said with a longing look, when we give birth to a group, the world will envy me to death. Su Bingshuang laughed. Her eyes were full of excitement. She felt happy just thinking about it. Tai Baokai almost fainted. Thinking about being tied up and forced to make babies all day long, Tai Baokai was so scared that he almost foamed at the mouth. He begged for help. Su Yin, that the imperial treasure technique is in my hands. Don't mess around. Su Yin directly took out the bronze cauldron and threatened, Baokai, hurry up and give me the imperial treasure technique. Otherwise, I will suppress you and make babies. If I can't find a female panda, I will catch a big sow and try it. Su Yin, you bastard. Tai Baocai's nose was almost crooked from anger. Thinking about the scene, he had goosebumps all over his body. He said excitedly, I'll give it to you, okay? I'll give it to you. But let's talk about it first. The things inside will be divided equally. Su Yin looked at him with a threatening gaze. Tai Baokai said painfully, the 9 Dragons treasured sword is yours. Su Bingshuang was inspecting the broken cauldron. She didn't feel anything special about it. Tai Baokai obediently handed over the imperial treasure technique. Su Yin studied it for a while. His hands instantly formed a seal. Sure enough, at the same time he formed the seal, it resonated with the bronze cauldron. It was also at this time, within the bronze cauldron, an endless source of terror suddenly filled the air. However, the bronze cauldron was very special. Although it was broken, the aura within the cauldron didn't leak at all. Su Bingshuang was stunned. She stared at the 9 bronze killing swords, at the celestial bodies, at the 8 divine weapons. There were too many treasures inside. Tai Baokai, where did you hide the 8 trigrams cauldron? Su Yin threatened again. You have to be honest. Tai Baocai's face darkened. The golden pills are yours. The 8 trigrams cauldron is mine. You don't need the cauldron. There's a flame inside. I can absorb it and refine it into my own flame. Su Yin finally gave up. Su Bingshuang also let go of Tai Baokai. Tai Baokai was shocked. Its whole body was covered in cold sweat. Especially the way Su Bingshuang looked at it made Tai Baokai shudder. The rolling mountain range was not quiet now. Zhu Yan's anger was about to burn down a few thousand miles. He searched everywhere, but he still couldn't find Su Yin and Tai Baokai. The incident at Emperor Qin's tomb had also spread throughout the entire Huaxiao alliance, causing a huge commotion. The impact of this incident was too great. The entire Huaxiao alliance trembled. The residents of the 9th base could feel Zhu Yan's anger. The world is going to change. All the factions were shaken. More and more experts gathered at the 9th base. They were all Zhu Yan's subordinates. They sealed off the entire 9th base. Zhu Yan's methods were so forceful that Lu Qingtian and the others were scared. It seemed that Su Yan had really pushed Zhu Yan too far. They could only wait for Xia Zhe to come out of seclusion. They were even worried that Zhu Yan would make a move on Xia Zhe. They had already received news that the martial god was injured. He should be recuperating somewhere and wouldn't come out for a few days. Zhu Yan won't let this go. His disciples were killed, and his fortune was taken away. Su Yan is too daring. He even dared to provoke Zhu Yan. Zhu Yan has made a great contribution to the Huaxia Alliance. No matter what, Su Yan has to come and apologize. That's right. Even if Su Yan is the martial god's disciple, Su Yan has committed a great crime. Even if he is talented, he can't disregard the law, right? The incident at Emperor Qin's tomb had already spread. The entire Huaxia Alliance was in an uproar. Some of the older experts could see Zhu Yan's determination. This was a method that wouldn't give up. While everyone was paying attention to the development of Base Number 9, a great earthquake occurred in Huaxia College. A group of life spring stage cultivators in the 8th or 9th fold heaven directly broke in, and the leader was Tong Huoyin. Tong Huoyin, what are you doing? Elder Liang's expression changed. A large number of Huaxia University's experts were at the 9th base. Tong, who was silver hair, draped over his shoulders. It was clear that his arms had been healed using special secret medicines. At this moment, his entire being was like a silver deity. He was emitting a monstrous fury as he sent Elder Liang flying with a single sleeve. Elder Liang coughed out a mouthful of blood. His entire body trembled in pain. The entire Huaxia University was filled with Tong Huoyin's fury. He shouted, "Pass down my orders. Su Yan has already betrayed the Huaxia Alliance." After war, God Zhu Yan's investigation by Minjing and Lin Wanlan are likely to betray the Huaxia Alliance. Take them away immediately. This accusation caused Elder Liang's expression to change greatly. Chapter 102. Impossible. There must be a mistake. Some people shook their heads. Although they didn't have much contact with Su Yan, they knew about the martial god. With the martial god's temperament, it was impossible for him to accept a traitor as his disciple. No matter how much they slandered Su Yan, the martial god's name was not to be sullied. Bai Minjing and Lin Wanlan were also paying attention to the situation at Base 9. They both had a bad feeling. Zhu Yan wouldn't let this go, right? However, what they didn't expect was that Zhu Yan would actually send people to capture them. His purpose was definitely to threaten Su Yan. "You!" Elder Liang almost exploded in anger. He roared, "You are extremely shameless." A large group of experts had already rushed over. Bai Xingyuan's expression changed on the spot. His aura was fully awakened as he roared, "Minjing, run, run! A piece of trash like you dares to block my way? Get out of my way!" Tong Huoyin was in a fit of anger. Zhu Yan was already prepared to go all out, so he wasn't afraid of anything. He waved his sleeves, and silver flames roared up, burning the energy source emitted by Xingyuan's body. Tong Huoyin was one of the top 10 experts. Although his injuries had improved and his aura was weak, his current combat power was enough to run amok in Huaxia University. "Sister!" Bai Xingyuan's body trembled as he roared like a beast. He was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. However, the pain on his body couldn't compare to the anger in his heart. He could only watch as Bai Minjing was forcibly taken away. Even Lin Wanlan couldn't resist and was forcibly taken away by Zhu Yan's people. Zhu Yan! Bai Xingyuan's face was distorted. Bai Minjing had always been cultivating in the academy. When did she betray the Huaxia Alliance? They wanted to capture Bai Minjing to threaten Su Yan. This made Bai Xingyuan furious. Zhu Yan was too overbearing. Wasn't he afraid that the world would criticize him? The entire Huaxia University was like a cold wind blowing over. The world is going to change. Bai Minjing and Lin Wanlan were forcibly taken away. Even Zhu Yan went ahead of the dean. Regardless of whether Zhu Yan investigated it or not, now that his hand was here, what was Zhu Yan trying to do? The older generation started to panic. The infighting between the top experts would definitely cause a disaster for the Huaxia Alliance. And this time, Tong Huayin came with great fanfare. He forcibly detained by Minjing and Lin Wanlan and directly took them out of Huaxia College. The whole Huaxia city was completely shocked. The genius disciples of Huaxia University, Bai Minjing and Lin Wanlan, were both taken away. Bai Minjing is the daughter of the Bai family, and Lin Wanlan is the student of Lu Qingtian. What is Zhu Yin doing? Even if they really betrayed the Huaxia Alliance, it should be Dean Xiaze. Now, Zhu Yin has crossed the line. 2 women betrayed the Huaxia Alliance? That's impossible. How old are they? And how old is Zhu Yin? War god Zhu Yin must have his reasons for doing this. Let's wait and see. Too many things have happened during this time. There will be an ending. The Huaxia Alliance was still in an uproar. Everyone was gathering at the 9th base. This matter was too big. Now, Zhu Yin was in the 9th base. He was as cold as a devil, looking down on everyone in the 9th base. Zhu Yin, Lin Wanlan is my student. What evidence do you have to capture her? What evidence do you have? Lu Qingtian roared hysterically. You're still saying that Zhu Yin betrayed the Huaxia Alliance? What are you trying to do, Zhu Yin? Don't capture people without evidence. What do you think the laws of the Huaxia Alliance are? Lu Qingtian's status in the Huaxia Alliance didn't need to be mentioned. Now that he stood out, the entire 9th base became silent. Hearing this, Zhu Yan's cold eyes didn't even bother to look at Lu Qingtian. He said indifferently, "What evidence do I have? I don't need you to ask. I'll wait here for Zhu Yin for 10 days. If he doesn't come in 10 days, you should know what the consequences will be." The 9th base was silent. No one expected Zhu Yin to give such a strong reply. Zhu Yin, don't go too far. Don't go overboard. You don't have any evidence, and yet you are framing Zhu Yin. Are you after his treasures? Lu Qingtian's eyes were filled with rage. I'll say it again. I don't need to explain anything to you. If Zhu Yin doesn't dare to come, he'll bear the consequences himself. Zhu Yan's aura became more and more terrifying. He bathed in golden light and said coldly, "If anyone dares to question me, come up. I want to see who dares to rebel." Lu Qingtian and the others were so angry that their bodies were trembling. Zhu Yin was the strongest person on earth. Who could stop him now? What he meant was that he was the pillar of the Huaxia Alliance, the overlord of the Huaxia Alliance. Zhu Yin is dead for sure. If he doesn't come, these 2 women are dead for sure. If he comes, he'll die. If he doesn't come, he's a coward. Jing Yonghui raised his head and laughed. Zhu Yin was finally serious. He was in the 9th base right now. Who would dare to refuse to arrest the 2 women related to Zhu Yin? Who would dare to stand out and argue with Zhu Yin? The 9th base was silent. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on it, suffocating the countless residents. Lu Qingtian and the others were powerless. Right now, only weapon-building realm experts had the right to talk to Zhu Yin. However, Xiaze was in closed-door cultivation. The martial god's whereabouts were unknown. The female Azura's fate was also unknown. Tong Huayin stood on Zhu Yan's side. The Underground Commerce Alliance's Yuan Hong hadn't cared about worldly affairs for decades. So now, who would dare to challenge Zhu Yin? This caused Lu Qingtian and the others to panic. If Xiaze didn't come out, then wouldn't Zhu Yin control the entire Huaxia Alliance? He would control all the large and small forces and resources. If that really happened, then it would be the end of the Huaxia Alliance. Zhu Yin stood high up in the 9th base, looking down on everyone. His entire body was filled with a divine aura that intimidated the world. The forces that followed him were naturally ecstatic. Once Zhu Yin took over the world, they would naturally be a cut above the rest and enjoy wealth and glory. Zhu Yin, you must not come. Bai Meng's image was stupefied as she muttered to herself. Her heart was very conflicted. She hoped that Zhu Yin would come and save her, but she also didn't want him to come and seek death. Zhu Yin, that bastard. Zhu Yin, if you come, then you'll be dead for sure. I won't have a good ending either. You better not come. In the future, kill him for me and avenge this great aunt. Lin Wanlan gritted her teeth. She was implicated for no reason. She wanted nothing more than to swallow Zhu Yin alive. The entire Huaxiao alliance seemed to have been affected by Zhu Yan's tyrannical aura. Everyone was faintly silent. The older generation couldn't forget that the origin of Earth's heaven and Earth's essence had led to a great disaster. That was a period of darkness that wasn't recorded in history. That year, too many experts fell. And now, Zhu Yan was even stronger than before. However, there were some naive people who thought that Zhu Yan was investigating the truth. If Zhu Yan could explain things clearly, then everyone would be happy. The ninth base's wilderness. The beast tide had already dispersed. The 9 dragon veins were a mix of dragons and snakes. They were all looking at the ninth base. They were looking at the extraordinary figure in the ninth base. It was as if a sun was burning there. They were all looking at the #1 god of war on Earth, Zhu Yan. In the depths of the ninth base's wilderness, there was a place with beautiful scenery. There were birds chirping and flowers fragrant. There were flowing springs and waterfalls. The scenery was beautiful. In a large canyon, there was a gentle breeze and bamboo forests were everywhere. Tai Baokai was lying on the ground with one leg crossed over the other. It was chewing on a large piece of bamboo and munching on it. Its other paw was holding a pot of monkey wine. It was happily drinking and smacking its lips as it basked in the sun. It was carefree and relaxed. It crawled up with a grunt and ran over with all 4 limbs. Tai Baokai didn't bark blindly. Zhu Yan had already stayed here for a day and a night. He sat there and looked at the grave in front of him. He felt suffocated as he recalled the many happy times when he was young. Su Bingshuang buried her parents here. She whispered, "Brother, Mom and Dad will be very happy if they know about this. In the past, they only couldn't let go of you. Now that you are here, they can rest in peace." Su Yan took a deep breath and looked at the sky. He was thinking, where did people go? Did they really lose their consciousness? Then what was the mythical realm and reincarnation? Did it really exist? He thought of the snow mountain dragon coffin. In the coffin, he saw a person who looked exactly like him. Was that real? Or was it just a dream? This scripture is not bad. Tai Kai Bao looked at the sacred origin scripture that Su Bingshuang took out and commented, "It should be a scripture created by an extremely powerful existence. It is a top-notch heavenly art." Su Bingshuang's injuries had already healed. He even gave the purple cloud to Su Bingshuang. After refining it, Su Bingshuang's strength increased a lot. "Mom, Dad, don't worry. I will take good care of Bingshuang." Su Yan slowly stood up. His eyes slowly became firm. He felt that he must uncover Zhu Yan's true identity. This person on Earth was too dangerous. Su Yan guessed that he might be an alien. Su Bingshuang didn't know much about Zhu Yan's background. Even when Su Yan asked her about a strong white beauty, Su Bingshuang shook her head. She didn't know that there was such a person in the Huaxiao Alliance. "Su Yan, what role are you playing now?" Su Yan calmed down and thought about the things that happened recently. He felt that he must quickly become stronger. His strength was still too weak. Moreover, he needed to think of a way to get the golden body elixir and cultivate the golden body furnace. Once he cultivated the golden body furnace, his combat strength would be extremely strong. He would definitely be able to deal with weapon-building realm experts. "Bingshuang, I won't be at ease if I don't make a trip back." Su Yan pondered for a while and said, "There's no signal here at all. I'm guessing that Zhu Yan definitely won't let this matter rest. I want to go back and take a look. I have a feeling that something is about to happen." All right, Zhu Yan is stronger than me. However, he hasn't crossed the weapon-building realm. No matter how strong he is, he can't be that strong. Su Bingshuang nodded. Her eyes flashed with anger. Zhu Yan had single-handedly orchestrated a good show. Now that he had framed her, Su Bingshuang wouldn't let this matter rest. Along the way, they didn't encounter much danger. As they neared Base 9, Su Yan's communication device appeared with a lot of messages. His face changed. Something must have happened. He turned on his communicator and saw countless messages coming in. A ball of fire rushed out of Su Yan's chest and almost exploded. Blood rushed to his head. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. Zhu Yan had actually captured by Minjing and Lin Wanlan. These two people had nothing to do with him, but Zhu Yan had actually brought them to Base 9. "Zhu Yan, you despicable person. Su Yan's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. His entire body was burning with anger. This was forcing him to submit. In fact, almost 2 days had passed since then. In these 2 days, the entire Huaxia alliance wasn't quiet. There were many discussions. Base 9 had become a tiger's den. Zhu Yan had deployed countless people to lie in ambush here, quietly waiting for Su Yan's arrival. There were also people who dared to question him. Zhu Yan wouldn't be merciful. Su Yan, my good brother, I've been waiting for you for 2 days. Chapter 103. Zhu Yan's voice reverberated through a radius of over 100 miles. It contained a divine might and the dominance of a superior being, and it exploded in the forest. The words, my good brother, caused the blood in Su Yan's entire body to roar. It was like smoke rising and falling. Strands of substantial killing intent came out of his pores, like a killing sword breaking out of his body, especially his life spring. The divine power within it was turbulent, emitting the sound of a flood breaking through a dam. It was as if Su Yan's anger was leaking out. The aura that spread from his body was like a wild dragon, filled with terrifying power. Brother, calm down. Zhu Yan is deliberately provoking you. Su Bingshuang said. If he goes over now, he'll be walking right into a trap. He won't even be able to save them. He might even die. Don't worry, Su Yan. Let's charge forward in one go and start a fight with Zhu Yan. Kick his balls out. Tai Baokai bared his teeth and urged Su Yan to hurry up and fight with Zhu Yan. Shut up. Su Bingshuang kicked Tai Baokai in exasperation. After a few days of interaction, Su Bingshuang had already seen through Tai Baokai. She was probably thinking that after Su Yan died, Tai Baokai would be able to take the bronze cauldron. Rumble. However, the aura that spread out from Su Yan's body became more and more fierce. His whole body rippled with vigorous divine power, and his limbs and bones rippled with the sky, splitting divine power. This kid is actually stimulated to the point of breaking through. Tai Baokai was stunned. He could feel the divine power in Su Yan's body erupting. This breakthrough was definitely no small matter. Su Bingshuang's eyes were filled with joy as she quickly took out the silver chain. My astral chain. Tai Baokai felt his heart ache. This silver chain was a very powerful artifact, but it had been snatched away by Su Bingshuang. Now that Su Bingshuang had the star chain, her strength had increased by a lot. The astral chains flew high into the sky like a coiling silver dragon, suppressing the fluctuations released by Su Yan. Buzz. Su Yan's aura became even more ferocious. His fate spring was already at the 5th heavenly layer. This breakthrough wasn't too surprising to him. Originally, his fate spring was already very close to the 6th heavenly layer. Going from the 5th heavenly layer to the 6th heavenly layer was a qualitative change. Su Yan could feel that his life fountain was getting bigger and bigger. As the initial sutra was activated, the life fountain started to absorb the essence of heaven and earth from all directions. He also took out an origin essence stone and began to absorb its energy. Your life fountain looks very powerful. Brat, how many good things did you eat? Tai Baokai was shocked. Su Yan had already stepped into the 6th heavenly layer, but the commotion caused by his breakthrough was even more shocking than an ordinary person's breakthrough to the 9th heavenly layer. What are you doing? Tai Baokai trembled. Su Bingshuang pulled his big ear and snorted. Little Baokai, take out some origin essence stones. What origin essence stones? What is this? Tai Baokai said with a simple and honest face. Don't talk nonsense. What time is it now? Why aren't you taking them out? Su Bingshuang glared at Tai Baokai. Tai Baokai took out a origin essence stone. Su Bingshuang gave him the threatening look. Tai Baokai, who never spat out bones when eating meat, could only painfully take out a few more origin essence stones. However, Su Bingshuang never thought that Su Yan's breakthrough required more energy than these origin essence stones. The main reason was that a portion of his physical body's potential had been unlocked, and the amount of divine energy he needed was tremendous. The energy in the dozen or so origin essence stones had been completely sucked dry. Tai Baokai then took out another 5, crying for his parents. I really don't have any more. I swear to the heavens. Tai Baokai said with a dark face. The energy of the 5 origin essence stones passed through Su Yan's body. His flesh shell surged with a resplendent light, and his blood chi became even more terrifying. When his life fountain erupted, it was as if a great river was gushing out. Break through for me. Su Yan roared towards the sky. It was as if a shackle had been torn off his entire body. His battle strength soared, and the energy that spread out from his body far surpassed that of Lei Lao and the other 9th heavenly layer life found experts. It was approaching the weapon-building realm. Su Bingshuang was tongue-tied. She felt that the gap between her and Su Yan was becoming smaller and smaller. Tai Baokai was extremely jealous. He was even more certain that the ancient scripture Su Yan grasped was extremely powerful. He had to get his hands on it. If Big Brother enters the 9th heavenly layer life fountain, perhaps he can shake the laws of heaven and earth? Su Bingshuang said. Tai Baokai sneered. Impossible. You don't even know how powerful the laws of heaven and earth are. Only when you comprehend them will you know how powerful they are. Even if Su Yan defies the heavens, it's still impossible. No one can surpass 1 or 2 realms to defeat a powerful enemy. Moreover, this Su Yan has a minor king body. He's not that easy to deal with. Su Yan opened his eyes and felt the energy of the 6th heavenly layer life fountain within his body. He understood that there was still a large gap between him and Su Yan. Give me 1,000 origin essence stones, and I can rush to the 9th heavenly layer. Su Yan's words made Tai Baocai's eyes turn red. Find a chance to dig out Su Yan's nest. Su Bingshuang shook her head. It was too difficult. Moreover, the Earth's geography had changed. It wouldn't be easy to find Su Yan's nest. I don't have much time left. Su Yan, you despicable person. Just you wait. Su Yan took a deep breath. He had a strong foundation, a strong physical body, and an unparalleled technique like the beginning sutra. Therefore, Su Yan wasn't worried about his realm being unstable. At this time, he took out the bronze cauldron and tried to control the 9 dragons' treasured sword. He sighed. It was impossible. The conditions to use the 9 dragons' treasured sword were very harsh. He had to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. Su Yan felt that the tower of trials that Bamboo Moon had left for him was hopeless. However, he wasn't in a hurry to act. He took out the golden origin brush and took out a lot of ores. Then, he seriously began to inscribe runes. Tai Baocai's eyes were wide open as he stared at the source seed. He said in disbelief, Kid, are you being kept? Why do you have a source seed? Su Yan looked at Tai Baokai and asked, How do you know about the source seed? Is there anything in this world that I don't know? I can tell at a glance that this is a grade 1 source seed. Tai Baokai said in a very calm tone, although the stronger the source seed, the better it is. However, there is a difference. The source seed is nurtured from the primal chaos. Its future value will be even more shocking than a star. This item can't be bought. This item is so important? Su Bingshuang was stunned. Of course, the source seed contains a small world. It can be said to be a small universe. As it evolves, it will constantly give birth to the laws of heaven and earth. If you observe the evolution of the small universe during its evolution process, it will be equivalent to observing the evolution of the entire earth. This will be extremely helpful in grasping the laws of heaven and earth. Tai Baokai said decisively, Just this point alone is enough to entice you. Not to mention the nurtured source brush, which will be of great help to the mystical sect practitioners. Su Yan grasped the source brush and inscribed the runes at an extremely fast speed. If there is a chance, it would be good to get a battleship and go mining in the universe. Tai Baokai was extremely envious. He knew that the powerful mystical sect practitioners could take risks and excavate treasures in the universe. They might even be able to excavate immortal ores. Time slowly passed. Su Yan's heart was as calm as water as he concentrated on inscribing the runes. Since he was going, he had to be fully prepared. My good brother, I have to remind you that there is not much time left. How much longer do you want me to wait? Base number 9, which had been silent for a long time, was once again filled with a cold and majestic voice. The voice shook the vast forest and the mountains and valleys. The ninth base was in an uproar. It had been almost 6 days, but Su Yin still hadn't appeared. Haha, Su Yin, Battle God Zhu Yin is very impatient. You better hurry up and come out. Battle God Zhu Yin doesn't have that much time to wait for you. Su Yan's eyes were bloodshot. He didn't sleep or rest. He used the source brush to inscribe the runes on dozens of ores, but it was still not enough. Su Yin was comparing the runes on the mystical sect formation that Bamboo Moon had given him, the Imperial Dragon formation. The ninth base was not quiet at all. Tong Huayin's cold voice spread throughout the ninth base. The world doesn't have that much time to wait for you. Don't be too arrogant. Also, what are you afraid of? Battle God Zhu Yin is just trying to find out the truth, but you don't dare to come. What are you afraid of? That's right, I'm guilty. The eyes of the whole world are on the ninth base. Will Zhu Yin kill Su Yin here? I think there's a big problem with Su Yin. Didn't you notice that Su Yin's cultivation is very fast? It's like he's sitting on a rocket. He must have practiced some kind of evil demonic technique. Also, Su Yin was the first to enter the mausoleum. This undoubtedly proves that the mausoleum was opened by the female Azura. Yes, Su Yin is definitely a big problem. The evidence of the female Azura's crime is conclusive. If Su Yin doesn't dare to come, it means that he admitted it. I suggest that we immediately issue a kill order to kill Su Yin. The people of the young and strong party sneered. They had become more and more confident in the past few days. Su Yin was like a grasshopper after autumn. He wouldn't live for more than a few days. My good brother, I can swear that I won't kill you. I will let your teacher, the battle god, deal with you. After another day, Zhu Yin said solemnly, I just want to ask you some questions. You are very talented. I don't want a genius with unlimited potential to go astray. I know that you have been deceived by the female Azura. As long as you are willing to turn back, I will be lenient with you. The people around were in awe. They respected him from the bottom of their hearts. Letting the battle god deal with Su Yin was already the most lenient punishment. Zhu Yin, you hypocrite. An angry roar exploded here. A big fat man walked over. As he walked, the earth shook. His eyes were wide open in anger as he let out a fierce roar. In order to force Su Yin out, you actually implicated the innocent. Now, you still have the face to say such words. Don't you know how to write the word shame? The whole ninth base was silent. No one expected that someone would stand out and curse Zhu Yin. How dare you speak so rudely to battle god Zhu Yin? I will kill you, you bastard. Tong Huayin's eyes were wide open. He stretched out his palm like lightning and threw out a huge silver palm towards the fat man. What shocked everyone was that the fat man's aura was extremely turbulent. He actually exploded with a cultivation that was not inferior to the 9th level of the Fate Spring. His entire body was awakened with a bloodline secret technique. It could be said that a small giant was born here. He was extremely ferocious. The heavily injured Tong Huayin couldn't suppress him for a moment. The fat man roared, Zhu Yin, this is this. I don't care if you threaten Su Yin, but you use a woman to threaten Su Yin. What kind of man is he? If you have the ability, let them go and let me do it. Fat man. Lin Wanlan's eyes were red. She gritted her teeth and said, Leave. I don't need your help. Leave. Your courage is commendable. Zhu Yin said in a cruel voice. I think you are also rebellious. How dare you bargain with me? Who gave you the courage? The aura he emitted was like a magnificent mountain, pressing down on the fat man from all directions. No matter how strong the fat man was, facing Zhu Yan's aura that was like a mountain in the sea, his body trembled and his knees faintly bent. Zhu Yan was like a high and mighty emperor. He seemed to be reading a decree, asking the fat man to kneel on the ground and accept his punishment. Zhu Yan, if you are a man, come at me. The fat man's blood was boiling. He said coldly, You want me to kneel to you? Let me tell you, there is no way. Ha! Zhu Yan was smiling. The aura he exuded was suffocating. The energy that could topple mountains and overturn seas continuously pressed down on the fatty's body, causing him to tremble. His entire body was bleeding, and his knees were beginning to crack. However, the fat man didn't say a word. He just stood there and stared at Zhu Yan. This scene made the people around silent. They began to doubt Zhu Yan's decision. How could two women, Lin Wanlan and Bai Minjing, betray the Huaxia alliance? Boom! At this moment, the entire ninth base was filled with an earth-shattering boom. One after another, it was as if one true dragon after another had awoken from their slumber. Countless eyes in the whole ninth base were fixed on Huaxia City. Huaxia City was very far away from here. However, a giant stone tablet standing in Huaxia City suddenly roared. It was almost blown up by a punch from a shadow that pierced through the sky. The whole stone tablet burst out with towering divine light. The sound of thousands of horses galloping resounded in the whole Huaxia City and shocked all the bases. Su Yin turned around and looked at the ninth base coldly. Chapter 104. What happened in Huaxia City? The onlookers in the ninth base were shocked. The noise at the gate of Huaxia City was too shocking. They faintly saw that a stone tablet had woken up from its deep sleep, releasing divine light, radiating to all the bases. Although most people couldn't see it clearly, Lu, Chengtian, and the others saw it clearly. The place where Su Yin bombarded was the stone tablet at the gate of Huaxia City. This stone tablet was used to test rankings. It ranked the awakened ones based on their strength. Zhu Yin had always occupied the first place. Now that Su Yin had attacked the stone tablet at this juncture, what did this mean? Could it be? Lu Peng was very excited. Could it be that Su Yin had the power to shake Zhu Yan's ranking? That's impossible. That's impossible. Now the entire Huaxia City was in an uproar. They stared at the number on the stone tablet with trembling eyes. They were all frightened and unimaginable. The older generation was scared. They even concluded that there was a serious problem with the stone tablet's test. This was a horrible thing that could never happen. These people were staring at a shadow, standing under the stone tablet in a daze. At this moment, Su Yan's hair was dancing in the wind, his clothes were flapping, and the power of the true dragon was rising behind him. His peerless demeanor made the whole world dim. 10,000 horses galloping. It's fake. It must be fake. But when they saw the number on the stone tablet, they couldn't accept it. Some of them couldn't believe their eyes. Now, Su Yin occupied the first place on the stone tablet. He looked down on the whole Huaxia alliance with 10,000 horses galloping. The whole Huaxia alliance was in an uproar. 10,000 horses galloping, 10 times more potential than Zhu Yin. How could such a ridiculous thing happen? Countless communicators were transmitting the news. The whole Huaxia alliance was silent. Su Yin occupied the top of the stone tablet to test the strength of the awakened ones. It's impossible. 10,000 horses? 10 times more potential than Zhu Yin, the god of war? It's impossible. Countless powers were greatly shaken. Everyone sucked in cold breaths of air. This was truly hard to believe. Su Yan's peerless stance had subverted their thinking. How did Su Yin accomplish this with the power of 10,000 horses? First of all, they suspected that there was something wrong with the stone tablet. According to the ancient records, although there had been peerless geniuses with the strength of several thousand horses in the ancient cultivation world, there had never been a record of someone being able to gallop with 10,000 horses. Tai Baotsai's expression also froze, and its eyes glowed. It clearly understood that there were some physiques that were even more astonishing than the king physique. Those were the sovereign physiques, and there were even some very special sovereign physiques. However, no one in the awakening realm had ever been able to gallop like 10,000 horses. And for Su Yin to have this kind of strength, it was definitely closely related to the scripture he cultivated. Su Yin is actually 10,000 galloping horses. Lu Qingtian was crazily excited. Ha! 10,000 galloping horses. Lu Qingtian slapped his thigh and laughed. This is the reason why Su Yin couldn't open his life springs. So his potential is actually this terrifying. No wonder Su Yin had the potential to kill a 9th layer life spring expert in just a short year. Not good. Lu Peng's expression changed drastically. Lu Qingtian also reacted. With Zhu Yan's ambition, he definitely wouldn't allow Su Yin to continue growing. Boom! Zhu Yin had already exploded. His primordial spirit had directly sensed the changes in the stone tablet. His heart was filled with shock and ecstasy. First of all, Zhu Yin could confirm that Su Yin didn't have a king physique or a sovereign physique. He could confirm that Su Yin only had a normal physique. At most, his aptitude was slightly better. However, Su Yin now had the strength of 10,000 horses. Zhu Yin couldn't have made a mistake. There definitely wouldn't be any problems with the stone tablet. The strength of 10,000 horses in the awakening realm didn't exist in the cultivation world. However, Su Yin had created a miracle. Is the Mother Scripture really so terrifying? If I can obtain it, my future achievements will be unimaginable. Zhu Yan's heart was filled with excitement. This was a heaven-defying fortune. If word of it got out, the entire universe would be engulfed in a storm of blood. This kind of scripture could allow a super force to rise and a super expert to rise. The significance of the beginning scripture wasn't as simple as becoming strong. It was too big and could affect the structure of the universe. Legend has it that the Mother Scripture originated from an extremely ancient era. It was a scripture created by an extremely terrifying existence and only existed in legends. However, Zhu Yin had encountered it. Unfortunately, he only obtained the beginning. In his knowledge, the beginning scripture was the Mother Scripture of the body cultivator sect, and not the beginning scripture. Could a normal physique reach the level of 10,000 horses galloping? Zhu Yin didn't dare to imagine. With his king physique, if he were to recultivate the beginning scripture, what kind of magnificent heights would he reach? However, could Su Yin reach such heights only by relying on the beginning scripture? Tai Baokai didn't believe it from the bottom of his heart. There must be a big secret in Su Yan's physique. Bro, be careful. The fat man clenched his fists tightly. He was almost paralyzed on the ground because Zhu Yin had disappeared and began to cross to Huaxia City. Tong Huayin was also extremely angry. If he didn't kill Su Yin, it would be difficult to vent his anger. He had to get rid of this person. He felt that Su Yin would be a terrible threat to him in the future. A large number of experts crossed to Huaxia City. A group of Zhu Yan's subordinates detained by Minjing and Lin Wanlan and rushed to Huaxia City. Stop right there. The fat man carried a blood-stained mace and stood at the gate of the 9th base. Like an iron tower, he blocked a group of experts who detained Lin Wanlan. You are courting death. How dare you block the footsteps of Lord Zhu Yin? Take you away. A large number of experts from a young faction charged forward. Among them, there was no lack of great experts from the older generation. They covered the sky and covered the earth as they charged at Fatty. Get out of my way. At this moment, the area outside the gate was full of killing intent. Lu Peng and Lu Qingtian rushed back in an instant. Even the experts of the Bai family rushed out from all directions to kill Zhu Yan's subordinates. How dare you hurt the students of Huaxia University? Anyone who stops you will be killed. Lu Qingtian's cold voice spread throughout the entire 9th base, causing the group of experts who were holding by Minjing and the others to tremble in fear. They could feel the killing intent. Right now, there were 3 great experts at the 9th layer of the Life Spring realm blocking the entrance, cutting off their escape route. Su Yin, go now. We have rescued by Minjing and Lin Wanlan. Go now. Su Yin received a lot of messages through the communicator. He turned it off. At this moment, he was standing at the gate of Huaxia University. He was as cold as a demon, staring at Zhu Yin who was rushing to him. The whole Huaxia city was filled with suffocating waves. Zhu Yin had rushed to him, but Su Yin was still standing at the gate, motionless. His long black hair was draped over his shoulders, and his white robe was fluttering in the wind. His whole body was filled with the power of the true dragon. At the same time, his limbs and bones were shaking violently. Everyone was watching. They wanted to see what would happen next. Su Yin, my good brother, you are finally here. Zhu Yin was laughing heartily. His divine might was awe-inspiring, and his entire body was wreathed in purple divine splendor. When he was still a dozen miles away from Huaxia City, The ripples emanating from his body made the residents of Huaxia City feel as if a purple divine furnace had been opened. Some people were anxious. Why didn't Su Yin run away? Wasn't he afraid that Zhu Yin would kill him? A large number of experts had approached the gate of Huaxia City, but Su Yin was still standing there. When these people rushed to the gate of Huaxia City, all kinds of horrible waves rolled over one after another, and a monstrous power was pressing on Su Yin. Su Yin didn't move at all. His body was like a furnace, and he was standing in front of the gate of Huaxia City. The afterglow of the setting sun fell on Su Yan's body, which made him look like a demon god. Zhu Yan also came here. He was looking down at Su Yin without saying anything. When these people rushed over and saw the ranking on the stone tablet, they all gasped. Was it true or not? Now, Su Yan's potential was unbelievable. Jing Yonghui and the others were surprised and doubtful. Su Yin was not afraid at all, which made them worried that he still had other trump cards. Su Yin, kneel down and accept your punishment. Tong Huayin's whole body was emitting silver flames. Although he was still a little weak, the power of the weapon-building realm was released from his body, and the whole Huaxia City was filled with hot waves. The blood and qi of the people around were drying up. Who do you think you are? Su Yin looked at Tong Huayin indifferently and said coldly, Who do you think you are? You want me to kneel down? Do you think you are the leader of the Huaxia Alliance? The whole Huaxia City was shocked. This was Tong Huayin, but when they thought about it carefully, they couldn't figure out what crime Su Yin had committed. Su Yin, you still don't admit your crime. You offended your superiors and disrespected Lord Zhu Yin. You saved the female Shura without permission and associated with the beasts. These crimes are enough for you to be punished. And in the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang, you knew the way to enter the portal, but you didn't tell anyone. A large number of brave soldiers of the Huaxia Alliance were killed in the mausoleum. Even if you die 100 times, it won't be enough. I, Tong Huayin, am representing the god of martial arts to arrest you and give justice to those innocent people who died. Tong Huayin said bitterly, I will reveal your true face to the public and let you know the consequences of betraying the Huaxia Alliance. Tong Huayin's aura became fiercer all of a sudden, and the silver light was shining. A silver furnace rose from behind him and burned fiercely. Furthermore, the refined items pulled the divine power from the life spring out of the furnace like a burning silver volcano. Suppress. Tong Huayin attacked forcefully, pushing the power of the silver furnace towards Su Yin to devour him. Everyone's face froze. One crime after another. If it was true, Su Yin should indeed be killed. But they didn't expect that Su Yan's response would be so simple and domineering. As his aura recovered, the entire Huaxia City started to roar. The surging profound qi of heaven and earth in the sky suddenly boiled and fell down on its own. It was like many dragons of profound qi were awakening with Su Yin. When the endless source of essence qi ran through Su Yan's limbs and bones, Su Yin was extremely powerful at this moment. His qi could swallow the rivers and mountains. When he raised his hands, the whole Huaxia City was shaking. You broke into Huaxia University. I, Su Yin, have enough power to kill you. Su Yan's long black hair was dancing in the air, and his eyes were full of killing intent. As he punched, the whole Huaxia City was shaking. The sea of profound qi in the sky was boiling. As Su Yan's aura broke out, thousands of layers of light flowed out. Bang! Chapter 105. The profound qi of the dragon vein that was hovering around the entire Huaxia City was boiling, rising and falling along with Su Yan's fists. The profound qi of the dragon vein turned into numerous profound qi dragons, descending and revolving around Su Yan. Under Su Yan's feet, the dazzling formation marks flashed, which attracted the qi of the earth veins and the profound qi of the dragon vein all over the sky. It hurts! Tai Baokai gnashed his teeth in pain and his face darkened. This was a powerful formation, the dragon-controlling formation. Of course, it couldn't be driven by only ores. It must be powered by source essence stones as the energy source. Su Yin gave Tai Baokai the beginning of the initial sutra of body cultivation. Tai Baokai took out 100 source essence stones, which had been completely drained. Now the dragon-controlling formation was supported by the energy of source essence stones, so Su Yin could control the qi of the earth veins of the whole Huaxia city. Of course, this wasn't the power of the dragon vein. Su Yin couldn't control the power of the dragon vein with his attainments in the occult arts. If he really could control the power of the dragon vein, Tong Huayin would be killed by Su Yin as soon as they met face to face. Bang! The whole Huaxia city was exploding with a loud noise. Su Yan's fist was shining with dazzling light. This fist broke the silver flame in the sky like a hot knife through butter and hammered on the silver stove, which made a big crack appear on it. It seemed that everyone's heart was hammered, which made their scalp numb and their liver and gall break. Tong Huayin was stiff all over, and then he uttered a miserable roar. His mouth was overflowing with blood, and his whole body was trembling. He had a feeling that his soul was going to scatter. This! All the people present gasped. Su Yan's punch made a big crack on the natal instrument, which was refined by the second weapon building level. This meant that Tong Huayin's Taoist foundation was destroyed. If he couldn't recover in the future, his achievements would stop here. Boom! However, under the creepy gaze of the people around, Su Yin waved his fist again. This time, his fist was even more horrible. The dragon-controlling formation was fully awakened. The essence of heaven and earth in the entire Huaxia city poured down and turned into dozens of essence chi dragons. They were roaring and surging along with Su Yan's power. Su Yan let out an angry roar. He raised his fist and smashed it down. With an unstoppable force, he bombarded Tong Huayin. At this moment, Tong Huayin was terrified. He had a tendency to explode on the spot. He was going to die on the spot. He was going to be blown up by Su Yan's fist at the gate of Huaxia City. Stop! At this moment, when the energy source of Huaxia City was about to reach Tong Huayin, the roars of the heaven-shattering lion resounded between heaven and earth one after another, as if a yellow ancient seal was falling down from the sky. When this ancient seal broke out, the pattern of a golden lion engraved on the ancient seal was revived instantly. The golden lion jumped out of the ancient seal. Its huge body was like a mountain. It looked up to the sky and roared loudly. The roar even made the energy storm in the sky collapse. Lion's roar seal. It's Ding Jun. Lu Qingtian's face changed dramatically. Ding Jun, one of the top 10 powerhouses in Huaxia Alliance, could be regarded as a lone ranger. He had been missing for dozens of years. But who would have thought that Ding Jun would stand together with Zhu Yan? Several of the top 10 powerhouses had died. Now, the rest of the top 10 had all appeared in this year. Everyone saw an old man in a golden robe coming out with a murderous look. He said cruelly, "You have no respect for the law. You have mastered some unorthodox skills. You even dare to fight against the top 10 powerhouses. You are really reckless." This lion's roar seal was not inferior to the golden crow cauldron. Under the control of Ding Jun, the yellow seal turned into a golden lion. Its roar shook the entire Huaxia city. It spat out golden ripples and attacked Su Yin. "Dizzy old man, do you want to die?" Suddenly, as if a silver flood dragon was roaring, the space collapsed at once. It contained a powerful aura and blasted the golden ripples all over the sky. Under the seething gaze of the surrounding people, the female Azura came out with a mask. She was unparalleled in elegance. Holding a star chain, she chopped towards Ding Jun. Zhu Yan's eyes were cold. This was his treasure, which could even bind the stars. Now it fell into the hands of the female Azura. "Female Azura, how dare you come out now? You betrayed the Huaxia Alliance. The evidence is conclusive. I will catch you and take a good look at your real face. I will see whether you are a human or a ghost." Ding Jun was not afraid of the female Azura at all. He held the lion's roar seal and hit the star chain. Boom! At this moment, the sky and the earth shook. Although Su Yan's killing move was blocked, the energy ripples also hit Tong Huayin and sent him flying. He coughed up blood and fell to the ground. His hair was disheveled, and he was in great pain. What kind of move is this? The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Su Yin stood in a formation and actually defeated Tong Huoyin. Su Yin knew that the Imperial Dragon formation could not continue to operate. At most, it could help him last for half a day before it ran out of energy. He had to quickly resolve the matter at hand. Su Yin, you even want to kill Tong Huoyin? Zhu Yin, who had been silent all this while, finally found an excuse to make a move. He came back to his senses at lightning speed. He took a step forward, and his entire body surged with purple divine radiance. He raised his foot, and the moment it landed, it rapidly enlarged. It was like a purple mountain had landed, and he was going to step on Su Yin with a domineering stance. The dragon vein essence in the sky trembled. Su Yin's expression was grave. Zhu Yin had too many treasures. Although he could contend against a weapon-building realm cultivator, with Zhu Yin's strength, it would be difficult for him to block. Oh no! It was also at this moment that the familiar roar of a dragon and tiger resounded. It was a man with bronze skin. His hair danced wildly in the wind, making him look like a mad god. He clenched his fist, which was incomparably domineering. The starlight in the sky was about to fall down. Surrounded by the monstrous fluctuation of essence and blood, he smashed towards Zhu Yan's back. Humph! Zhu Yin had expected that the god of martial arts would also come. At this moment, the whole Huaxia city faintly showed a tendency of collapsing, as if hundreds of thousands of mountains were falling down. The fluctuation was so strong that everyone was about to collapse. Boom! A bronze chariot suddenly flew out from Zhu Yan's life spring. Wherever the wheels passed, the void was trembling. This bronze chariot quickly enlarged, just like a bronze mountain, spewing out a shocking energy source. At this moment, Huaxia City was about to collapse with the bronze chariot. The breath of the god of martial arts seemed very small under the bronze chariot. Tai Baokai was surprised. How could Zhu Yin use the power of a Dharma idol? Did he have any secrets? Only by mastering the rules of heaven and earth could he exert the power of a Dharma idol. But what surprised Tai Baokai more was that Yuan took out a blood-red spear in an instant. Although there were some cracks on the spear, the qi emitted by the blood spear made Huaxia City cold. It was like a cold wind blowing, which made people shiver. The power of this blood spear was too horrible. When the god of martial arts raised it, the sky and the earth trembled. The blood-red light was like a sea, bombarding the bronze chariot. The two treasures collided here, and the sound waves were deafening, as if they were going to pierce the soul. A Dharma idol. Yuan was shocked. Although the blood spear hit the bronze chariot was shining. The power of the rules of heaven and earth was intertwined. The counterforce almost made Yuan's hand crack. He couldn't believe it. How could Zhu Yin master the power of a Dharma idol? He felt that his blood spear was also a Dharma idol. But Yuan didn't understand the rules of heaven and earth, so he couldn't exert the power of the blood spear. How dare you be my enemy? Zhu Yan's expression was cruel. The bronze chariot was shining like the chariot of an ancient emperor. Now, under his control, the divinity contained in the bronze chariot was awakened. At this moment, the bronze chariot emitted the power that could crush hundreds of thousands of mountains. Lu Qingtian was shocked. What kind of treasure was this? How could it be so abnormal? Master, let me do it. Su Yin stopped Yuan. Yuan was shocked. Could Su Yin still have the ability to fight against Zhu Yin? Su Yin stood at the gate of Huaxia City. He looked at Zhu Yin and said, Zhu Yin, if you can step into the city gate, Su Yin, will let you kill me. What are you talking about? Did I hear you right? All the people present were petrified. Some people thought that Su Yin was really crazy. Who was Zhu Yin? The most powerful man on earth. Not to mention that Zhu Yin now had the bronze chariot, which was a world-shaking treasure. Even if Yuan and Shura joined hands, they couldn't stop Zhu Yin. Are you sure? Zhu Yin said disdainfully. Su Yin, are you out of your mind? Do you think you can block my path with just your strength alone? Su Yin, what era do you think you are in? When will you wake up from your dream? What? Zhu Yin, don't you think you are invincible? And you are really good at turning black into white. Su Yin looked up to the sky and laughed. I will make a bet with you now. I will give you a chance to fight. If you can step into Huaxia City, you have to promise me one thing. If you can't do it, my life will be yours. His resolute voice exploded in the whole Huaxia City and spread over dozens of miles. The onlookers were scared. They all thought that Su Yin was crazy. You are courting death. You can't blame me. Zhu Yin had absolute confidence that he could control Su Yan's life. He was still looking down at Su Yin from high above. The aura he emitted once again became terrifying. It was as if he was carrying a huge purple mountain. There was a huge seal that was faintly discernible in the life spring. How horrible! The onlookers were horrified from the bottom of their souls. Zhu Yan's aura was too tyrannical. Furthermore, he didn't awaken any treasures. He was standing at the peak with his own strength. Anyone could feel how terrifying Zhu Yin was. Behind Zhu Yan's back, there was even a faint light of order manifesting. All the materials would collapse with Zhu Yin. He domineeringly raised his foot and stomped down in an instant. Just like an ancient god, this foot was overbearing as it ruthlessly stomped towards Su Yin. Boom! Su Yin looked up to the sky and roared. His whole body seemed to turn into the universe, and the brilliant formation marks were gushing out. The dragon-controlling formation was connected by Su Yin in an instant. At this moment, Su Yin seemed to turn into a part of heaven and earth, and the chi of earth veins of the whole Huaxia City was integrated into one. At this moment, Su Yin was infinitely powerful. When the chi of earth veins was completely released in Huaxia City, a giant dragon woke up from a deep sleep, which affected the dormant dragon vein of Huaxia University. When the dragon-controlling formation was running to the top, the force of topography pulled out attracted some of the dragon vein's power. Su Yin was taking advantage of it. Chapter 106. Many people raised their heads and stared at Huaxia University in a daze. A massive dragon head flew out, giving off a heaven-toppling golden light. It contained the aura of a true dragon, and it was as if a true dragon son of heaven had come out and roared. For a time, the whole Huaxia City was shaking. As the dragon head rushed over, the world lost its color, and the sun and the moon lost their light. This guy can use the formation to move the terrain. He must have the inheritance of the occult sect. Tai Baokai murmured in his heart. The occult sect was too strong. Their attacking means were unpredictable, and they couldn't be calculated by common sense. Boom! Although the dragon head was very illusory, the power of Su Yan's anger was horrifying. It rushed over like lightning. Even someone as strong as Zhu Yin trembled. He was sent flying backwards by the source of energy spewing out from the dragon's head. Even his protective light barrier collapsed. His blood and energy churned within him, and blood seeped out from the corners of his mouth. Zhu Yin flew into a rage. It was hard for him to accept that he had been sent flying by Su Yin. He also swooped down and controlled the bronze chariot. He wanted to kill Su Yin in one go. What? Zhu Yin, are you going to regret in front of the whole world? Su Yan's momentum was soaring. He pointed at Zhu Yin and shouted, You have lost. Can't the great Zhu Yin bear this? Su Yan's voice spread over the whole Huaxia City. The city was so quiet that even a needle falling could be heard clearly. Zhu Yin was hit by Su Yin and flew out. A wisp of blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. He was hurt by Su Yin. They couldn't believe it. What kind of secret method was this? It could make Su Yin burst out such a shocking power in a short time. The older generation could see that Su Yin seemed to be using the dragon vein. He could control the dragon vein. The chi of the dragon vein of Huaxia University just flashed and disappeared slowly. The dragon-controlling formation under Su Yan's feet couldn't hold for too long. The energy of the formation was almost exhausted just now. It was also because of the help of the Source Essence Stone. Otherwise, Su Yin couldn't fight so fiercely. It's just an unorthodox method. Zhu Yan's face was livid. He said angrily, Su Yin, you want me to forgive your crime? Impossible. Ha ha ha. Su Yin raised his head and laughed. Zhu Yin, you're still thinking about my crimes even now. My request is very simple and not difficult. 1 year later, we'll fight to the death. Do you dare? His suffocating voice spread all over Huaxia City. People standing in all directions were dumbfounded. After 1 year, he would fight with Zhu Yan? They couldn't figure out where Su Yan's courage came from. Although Su Yan had heaven-defying potential in the awakening realm, they knew one thing for sure. Zhu Yan was about to grasp the power of the heavens and earth precepts. No matter how strong Su Yan's potential was, it was impossible for him to catch up to Zhu Yan within a year. What? Zhu Yan, you don't dare? Or are you afraid? Su Yan said coldly. After 1 year, do you dare? If you don't dare, just take what Su Yan said just now as a fart. Zhu Yan's face was faintly ferocious. He didn't want to give up. He wanted to suppress Su Yan now and get everything from him. 1 year was not long, but Zhu Yan couldn't wait any longer. At this moment, Tong Huin, who was seriously injured, said with a grim smile, Su Yan, do you want to live 1 more year? That's impossible. You have committed an unforgivable crime. You should be sentenced to death for dealing with Vice President Lei Lao. Yes, Su Yan, you have targeted my master again and again. Even the Einherjar has done the same. Tung Inja said angrily, you have suppressed my growth in the academy again and again. If it weren't for the Einherjar, how could you occupy so many resources for cultivation? How can I, Tung Injia, be inferior to you? Why do you have resources, but I don't? Tung Injia, you think too highly of yourself. Do you think you are worthy of me targeting you? Su Yan didn't even look at Tung Injia. He said coldly, as for me targeting Lei Lao, he deserves to be beaten. He didn't do a good job as the vice president. He is lucky that I didn't kill him. Su Yan said this. His resolute and decisive voice made the people around him gasp. Wasn't Su Yan afraid of being charged with a heinous crime? Ha! Everyone, look at Su Yan's arrogant face. He thinks that he can disregard the law just because he used unorthodox methods and cunningly defeated war god Zhu Yan. Tong Huin laughed angrily. You, Su Yan, were trained by Huaxia University. Now you dare to say such heinous words. I think you are even worse than a ferocious beast. Yes, Su Yan, you really deserve to be killed. Lord Zhu Yan, don't be fooled. He is just stalling for time. Su Yan is ambitious. We can't let him live. Tung Ingjie shouted loudly. Shut up. Just when the whole Huaxia city was talking about it, a stern voice suddenly appeared. Tong, you still recognize me as your teacher. Come back immediately. Tong Huayin was shocked, because the person who came was not someone else, but Lei Lao. At the gate of Huaxia University, an old man in a silver robe came out. His hair was snow white, and he looked dozens of years older, as if he was in his old age. He was not as vigorous as before. Teacher, Tung Ingjie was a little flustered. What was going on? Lei Lao, Tong Huayin said coldly. Why don't you explain clearly how Su Yan targeted you? Look at Su Yan's arrogant face. What a scandal. Lei Lao didn't look at Tong Huayin, but stared at Tung Ingjie and said, Tung Ingjie, don't you want to come back? Don't go there. He was ignored by Lei Lao. This made Tong Huayin's face pale, and he shouted at Tung Ingjie angrily. Teacher, Tung Ingjie hesitated for a while, and said while gritting his teeth, Su Yan was targeting you. Why don't you say it? I think this Su Yan defeated me again and again because he has mastered some crooked ways. Hearing this, Lei Lao shook his head, turned around, and walked towards the school. He walked step by step with difficulty towards the stairs and said with a trembling voice, Su Yan, I was wrong in the past. I have wronged you. I was also blind to have accepted such a plaything. The entire Huaxia University was cold. Lu Chengtian and the others wanted to say something, but stopped. Tung Yingjie's face was extremely ugly. Su Yan was also a little surprised that Lei Lao would repent. From now on, Tung Yingjie is no longer my student. I will personally apologize to the dean for my mistakes. Lei Lao walked step by step, trembling as he walked toward the school. Lu Chengtian and the others looked solemn. The current Lei Lao was worthy of their respect. They recalled the heroism of Lei Lao fighting at the forefront. Teacher you. Tang Yingjie was so angry that he almost flew into the air. He roared in extreme anger. Are you blind? You dare to kick me out of the school? I, Tang Yingjie, have a lightning physique. You will regret it. Being kicked out in public was a great humiliation. Moreover, Tang Yingjie boasted of his outstanding talent. Lei Lao's back seemed to have aged even more. He looked up at the sky and laughed. He had seen through everything and didn't want to say anything more. Tong Huayin, now that the truth is out, what else do you want to say? Lu Chantian shouted sternly. Hee, the truth is out? Tong Huayin sneered. Who knows what kind of bewitching potion Su Yin fed him? You actually believe that? Let's not talk about Lei Lao. Su Yin killed Tao Tianhua. This matter should be settled like this. Because he deserved to die. Are you satisfied with this answer? Su Yin coldly replied. A mere Tao Tianhua dared to make a move against one of the top 10 powerhouses, the female Azura. I, Su Yin, only stole a few treasures from Zhu Yin, and you want to kill me. According to you, Tao Tianhua deserved to die? Zhu Yin's expression was so ugly that it was about to drip water. Stealing a few treasures? He said it so easily. Su Yin, you stubborn thing. The female Azura betrayed the Huaxia alliance. Tao Tianhua was ordered by Lord Zhu Yin to kill her. Just as Tong Huayin finished speaking, a jade-white palm struck him like lightning. Ding Jun didn't even have time to stop it. This slap caused half of Tong Huayin's face to cave in. This slap caused his brain to short-circuit, and he miserably fell to the ground. Oof. Su Bingshuang's eyes looked at Tong Huayin and then at Zhu Yin. She said, Do you have evidence? Everyone pricked up their ears. This was what they were concerned about. After all, the female Azura's influence in Huaxia Alliance was too great. Female Azura, you're too daring. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you're a woman. Ding Jun raged. Let's not talk about what Zhu Yin saw with his own eyes. After Su Yin saved you, he snuck into Emperor Qin's mausoleum with a ferocious beast. He even knows the method to open Emperor Qin's mausoleum. Let's not talk about that first. Let me explain it here. Lu Chengtan directly interrupted Ding Jun. That day, it was Tong Huayin who was chasing after Su Yin. Su Yin was forced to escape into Emperor Qin's mausoleum. Many people have seen what I'm thinking. There's no need to say more. Furthermore, before this, Su Yin told me that Emperor Qin's mausoleum was in great danger and I couldn't barge in. I had issued dozens of emergency orders, but no one listened. I'd like to ask everyone here, is there anyone who didn't receive my message? There was an uproar. They had indeed received the emergency orders. There was no doubt about that. Moreover, it was indeed issued by Lu Qingtian. Some people were glad that they listened to Lu Changtan and didn't die in Emperor Qin's mausoleum. But he's with a ferocious beast. Ding Jun's face was very gloomy. Without solid evidence, it was difficult to prove the relationship between the female Azura and Su Yin. Although god of war Zhu Yin was highly respected, the female Azura and the martial god's prestige wasn't much inferior to god of war Zhu Yin. Are UF Asterisk King blind? Tai Baokai was in a fit of anger. Provoked by these words, he jumped out and roared. Which eye of yours saw that I'm a ferocious beast? Are your eyes on your ass? Do you believe that I won't capture you and lock you in a latrine for 10,000 years? Ding Jun's face was so ferocious that it was almost distorted. The whole Huaxia city burst into laughter. Some women stared at the roaring giant panda with shining eyes. This was a national treasure of 100 years ago. How could it have anything to do with a ferocious beast? It was the first time that a giant panda had appeared since the doomsday of the earth. Don't you Asterisk King doubt it. If you annoy this Master Baokai, I'll make you regret being born in this world. Baokai had a bad temper. He squinted at Zhu Yin and roared. And you look at you. How dare you call yourself the strongest man on earth? What qualifications do you have to command the world? Tai Baotsai's mouth was full of spittle. He raised his head and roared here. He hated it most when someone called him a ferocious beast. The whole Huaxia city was silent. Many people wanted to laugh, but they couldn't. Shut up. Zhu Yin was furious. His palm fell down like lightning. A big purple hand, covering the sky and the sun, began to press Tai Baokai. Ah! Tai Baokai screamed. Its hair stood on end. It ran away as fast as it could. Lu Qingtian was petrified. It was so arrogant just now, but now it ran faster than anyone else. Buzz! In the ninth base, a pair of indifferent eyes opened. The aura that could break the sky and split the sea swept across the whole Huaxia alliance. Some people looked at it with horrified eyes. They seemed to see an indomitable strong man. He stood in the ninth base, revealing a burst of horrible aura. In an instant, his aura ran through hundreds of miles. At this moment, the hands and feet of the cultivators in the city were cold, as if a divine furnace was burning here, which made them feel like their bodies were about to break. Xiaoze's cool photo is out. And Yu Yiling's, white and you can find it in the history of Weibo, Xian, public and public accounts. It was released yesterday. Chapter 107. The ninth base was like a behemoth that was awakening. His aura swooped down, revealing a depressing wave. At this moment, the whole Huaxia city was shaking, and the 10 bases were roaring. Everything was rising and falling with Xia Zhe's aura. This was an extremely terrifying power. It pierced through the heavens and filled the heavens and the earth with boundless divine might. War God Xia Zhe, it's War God Xia Zhe. In Huaxia City, all the old masters were excited. Xia Zhe had succeeded. He had broken through the checkpoint of the weapon-building realm and comprehended the power of the rules of heaven and earth. Zuyan's face was livid. The first place of the test tablet had been taken away. Now the title of the first master on earth had also fallen on Xia Zhe, the god of martial arts, and the others all laughed. Xia Zhe had come out, and the result had been determined. The whole Huaxia alliance was surging with a dragon-like aura. At this moment, Xia Zhe was too amazing. He had mastered the power of the rules of heaven and earth, and his combat strength was completely different. Xia Zhe's pupils stared at Zuyan. At this moment, he had a tendency to rush out and tear Zuyan apart, but he couldn't do that. He didn't know whether Dao Zuyan had a trump card that could stop him. If he did that, the Huaxia alliance would be in chaos. Under the shocked gaze of all the people present, Xia Zhe appeared in Huaxia City in a few steps. The aura in his body was also restrained, but it was still involuntarily filled with waves of pressure that could distort people's souls. This was the power of the rules of heaven and earth. Even Ding Hong and Tong Huayin felt suffocated, and their hearts were full of fear. Xia Zhe had stepped out. He was too tolerant. Su Yan. Xia Zhe's eyes fell on Su Yan, and he said sternly, Tao Tianhua, Zhang Wuhan died because of you. Although there was a reason, you can't not be punished. You go to Huaxia University and be grounded for a year. Reflect on yourself. The calm voice also revealed an unquestionable tone, which resounded throughout Huaxia City. Some people seemed to be drained of strength. Xia Zhe was protecting Su Yan. Xia Zhe did not mention the lives of the others at all. However, Tao Tianhua and Zhang Wuhan were the two geniuses of Huaxia University after all. Both of them had been killed by Su Yan. Merely grounding Su Yan for a year was no different from not punishing him at all. Yes, headmaster. This disciple is willing to accept the punishment. Su Yan bowed respectfully. War God Zhu Yan, do you have any objections? Xia Zhe's gaze then landed on Zhu Yan, and he said calmly, After all, this is your student. But you haven't taught Jiang Wuhan well all these years. It's also my fault for not teaching him well and being careless. Moreover, Jiang Wuhan also died because of your wrong judgment. What? Tong Huayin's face darkened as he said angrily, Battle God Xia Zhe, you're punishing Su Yan like this? Don't you know how many people he has killed? You make it sound so easy. Jiang Wuhan died for nothing, just because of a wrong judgment? As soon as Tong Huayin's voice fell, the world rumbled and the sun and moon lost their brilliance. It was as if an ancient dragon had awoken from its slumber. The aura that filled the air caused Tong Huayin's expression to change drastically. His entire body was about to dissipate under Xia Zhe's might. Ah! Tong Huayin screamed miserably. His natal artifact had already been damaged by Su Yan, and its foundation had been greatly damaged. Now, under Xia Zhe's ferocious might, It almost died. Puffed. He coughed up large mouthfuls of blood, and there was a trace of fear in his eyes. At this moment, Xiaze was too powerful and was also the strongest existence on Earth. Tong Huayin, you trespassed on Huaxia University's grounds and dared to arrest my students. This punishment is unavoidable. Xiaze waved one of his palms, and an overwhelming energy source bombarded Tong Huayin, causing him to cry out in fear. He crawled on the ground and trembled, but the palm did not land on him in the end. If it hadn't been intact, do you think he would still be alive? Xiaze's words made by Minjing and Lin Wanlan in a good mood. They hurriedly said, "Thank you, Dean, for seeking justice for us." "That's enough, Xiaze. Cultivation is against nature and destiny. I won't say anything if you die. You are not as good as others." Zhu Yan was also angry. This slap was like a slap on his face. He responded coldly, "Su Yin, 1 year later, we will have a life and death duel. This is what you said. You can choose the place." The bronze chariot rumbled away. Zhu Yan did not want to offend Xiaze openly, which was not good for him at all. Zhu Yan's aura dissipated, and people in Huaxia City gasped heavily. Was it over? The storm during this period was too big. Starting from the female Shura, it led to a series of events. After Su Yan and others left, the stone tablet was crowded with people. They were all staring at a name at the top of the stone tablet. Su Yan, 10,000 horses galloping. Incredible. I still can't believe it. How did Su Yan do it? Even if he is the disciple of the martial god, he can't have such great potential. The changes of the rules of heaven and earth have enhanced the potential of many strong people in the awakening realm. I think no matter how strong Zhu Yan is, he can't exceed the strength of 3,000 horses. Anyway, Su Yan dares to have a life and death duel with Zhu Yan. I don't know where his confidence comes from. Isn't he afraid of dying in the hands of Zhu Yan? Yes, Xiaze, the martial god, has made a breakthrough. By then, Zhu Yan will certainly master the rules of heaven and earth. How can Su Yan be qualified to fight with Zhu Yan? The dust seemed to have settled. The whole Huaxia Alliance was talking about it. Lu Qingtian and the others were still scared. This time, it was too dangerous. Fortunately, Xiaze looked at the big picture and calmed down to master the rules of heaven and earth. Otherwise, the situation would have been too serious. It was also because Zhu Yan didn't take this step. The female Azura was also angry. Why didn't Xiaze suppress Zhu Yan? Xiaze smiled bitterly. How could he be so easy to kill? Although they knew that Dao Zhu Yan was strong and selfish, if he couldn't be killed, the entire Huaxia Alliance was in chaos. Everyone thought that the Huaxia Alliance would be quiet for a while. However, a few days later, the Huaxia Alliance was shaken. Xiaze attacked fiercely. Even from hundreds of miles away, they could still feel the terrifying aura coming from him. Kill! Xiaze's mad roars echoed throughout the mountain ranges. He was bathed in blood as he slaughtered his way to the various mountain ranges, killing countless beast kings. His heart was full of pain and hatred. His family had died in the hands of beasts. He was venting his anger. For 10 days and 10 nights, countless beasts were slaughtered by him. Even the demon kings had been dug out and killed by him. The Huaxia Alliance continued to tremble. War god Xiaze's prestige was becoming more and more terrifying. After 10 days and 10 nights of killing, not a single beast was left within 1,000 miles of the Huaxia Alliance. War god Xiaze, war god Xiaze. Billions of residents shouted excitedly. Their eyes were full of worship and fanaticism. This was the war god who protected the Huaxia Alliance, the pillar of the Huaxia Alliance, Xiaze. Now, he had killed countless beasts and turned the area into a peaceful zone. The young and strong faction seemed to have disappeared. Xiaze was too domineering now. He took control of the college and got rid of a large number of black sheep. He also reorganized the various forces and opened the 9 dragon veins to the public. War god Xiaze set the rules. If you kill a lord-level beast, you can cultivate in the dragon veins for 10 days. The dragon veins are related to the rise and fall of the Huaxia Alliance. The soldiers who killed the beasts at Base 9 all received resources to cultivate in the dragon veins for a year. The exam is about to begin. According to the news from Huaxia University, students with great potential can cultivate in the dragon veins for a period of time. A month had already passed, and the entire Huaxia Alliance was thriving. A new era had already begun. The great changes on Earth had ended for a long time. Various forces had calculated the specific data. The number of awakened warriors in the Huaxia Alliance had almost doubled. Due to the change in the environment, the foundation of awakened warriors had become stronger. The speed of breaking through to the life-spring realm had also sped up. The essence of heaven and earth was more vigorous than before. Various forces estimated that the overall strength of the Huaxia Alliance would continue to increase after a year. Rumble. At the top of the training tower, monstrous divine light shot out. Su Yan's entire fist was surrounded by dazzling divine light. It was as if strands of starlight were exploding. When his second punch was activated, Su Yan's body rumbled. His blood boiled. His entire body seemed to have turned into a sun, filled with a suffocating masculine aura. Mizar. The moment the aura of his fist changed, Su Yan's entire fist was like a sun, blazing and surging. It was as if a prison had been opened, containing the power to split mountains and seas. Su Yan was cultivating the Big Dipper Fist. He had barely reached the entry level of the Alcade Fist and Mizar Fist. Su Yan also wanted to teach the Big Dipper Fist to Yi Yuan and Su Bingshuang. Unfortunately, only he could read the Jade Scroll. He guessed that it was a trick played by Bamboo Moon. During this month, Su Yan's combat strength had increased once again. He had reached the peak of the sixth heaven of the Life Spring realm. However, he found that his cultivation speed was becoming slower and slower. He had also consumed 20 Source Essence Stones during this time. Normally, 20 Source Essence Stones could allow one to reach the 8th heaven from the 6th heaven. However, Su Yan's Life Spring Realm Foundation was too strong. His cultivation speed was very slow. I need Source Essence Stones. A large amount of Source Essence Stones. Su Yan frowned. His gaze fell on the space of the 11th floor. He found that the space of this floor was gradually weakening. The 11th floor was about to disappear. The Tower of Trials only has 10 floors. Unfortunately, I can't control the Tower of Trials. Su Yan sighed. At this moment, his communicator rang. His face was filled with joy. He quickly found Old Liang. Su Yan, the treasures you took out are not ordinary. They're all divine weapons. Old Liang laughed heartily. The Academy is willing to take out 300 Source Essence Stones, 1 Elemental Spirit Pill, and 6 different types of precious medicines that you need. How much is that? Tai Baokai frowned. With a dark face, he said, Old man, that is 8 divine weapons. Is your Academy trying to trick me? Even if the Earth's Source Essence Stones are scarce, it shouldn't be scarce to this extent. Also, what do you want the Elemental Spirit Pill for? I don't want this kind of trash pill. Old Liang's face was filled with black lines. Elemental Spirit Pill was trash? Don't be anxious. I haven't finished. Old Liang smiled bitterly. I didn't say that everything is worth 300 Source Essence Stones. Su Yan, there are people outside who want the divine weapons that you took out. Underground Merchant Union's Yuan Hong is willing to take out 200 Source Essence Stones to buy a high-grade divine weapon. There are also some forces that want divine weapons. I'm here to ask for your opinion. Only 200? Tai Baokai was very unhappy. However, there was no other way. The Source Essence Stones on Earth were too rare. During this period of time, he was thinking about how to find Zhu Yan's lair. He was thinking about the tens of thousands of Source Essence Stones that Su Yan mentioned. Su Yan handed over the matter to Old Liang. After another 10 days, Old Liang brought back a price that satisfied Su Yan, a total of 1,000 Source Essence Stones. Su Yan wanted to cultivate the Source Seed, so he needed a lot of Source Essence Stones. He also needed to quickly cultivate to the peak of the 9th celestial layer. Of course, it was impossible for the 8 divine weapons to be sold for so much. There were still 3 divine weapons that Su Bingshuang gave to the Underground Merchant Union. She was the founder of the Underground Merchant Union. Once the Underground Merchant Union started an auction, The 3 divine weapons should be able to sell for a high price. Throwing meat buns at a dog, it's a one-way trip. Brat, a few hundred source essence stones, and you only gave me this small section of the ancient scripture. You are too greedy. Tai Baokai trembled in pain. The source essence stones were taken away by Su Yan. As a price, Su Yan also gave it a section of the initial scripture. Su Yan also felt that it was a pity that the initial scripture was very difficult for Su Bingshuang to cultivate. However, Su Bingshuang could use the body tempering technique. Su Yan also gave a section of the initial scripture's body tempering technique to Yi Yuan. Yi Yuan said that this technique was very frightening and that it would be very beneficial to the body if it was cultivated for a long time. Boom! On this day, Tai Baokai was sleeping soundly. One after another, extremely frightening sounds resounded, scaring Tai Baokai so much that it jumped up and ran away. The entire Huaxiao Alliance was shaken by the loud sounds. It was as if thunder from the ninth heaven had descended, causing everyone's hair to stand on end. It was as if the gods had descended upon the world. A supreme aura suddenly overturned, causing people to panic. It was as if the heavenly world's weapon refinement pool was refining an immortal weapon. The sound of metal spears rumbled unceasingly. What's that? Everyone was scared. They saw a big black crack suddenly appeared near Huaxia City, spreading for hundreds of miles. Boom! Subsequently, a chaotic ocean that was like an ocean descended automatically from this pitch-black rift, and it transmitted the immortal tune of the Grand Tao that shook the sky. It was like a divine king that had been slumbering for eternity had awakened, and its aura was terrifying and monstrous. It's said to be the burial place of the Supreme Body. Chapter 108. It was a chaos rift that looked like the eye of a god. It was rumbling and filled with chaos, heavenly essence. What is that? Could it be an ancient relic? People were in disbelief. Although many cultivators had been to the ancient relic, none of them were as magnificent as this chaos rift. The experts of the Huaxia Alliance were shocked. Even Xia Zhe, the god of war, felt suffocated. What kind of secret was hidden in such an earth-shattering chaos rift? Too many people were paying attention to him. Some of them wanted to rush into the chaos rift. The chaos rift was not far from Huaxia City. Fortunately, it was not where the base was built. Otherwise, it would be a disaster and many people would die. Xia Zhe, the god of war, is going there. They did not dare to act rashly. Xia Zhe summoned the Heaven Stabilizer Bell and quickly approached the Chaos Rift. Just as he approached the Chaos Rift, he felt a destructive aura. It seemed to be telling Xia Zhe that once he got close, he would die. Xia Zhe looked serious. He did not dare to take the risk. Once he died, the entire Huaxiao Alliance would be in chaos. He was now the anchor of the Huaxiao Alliance. The burden on his shoulders was too heavy. However, just as Xia Zhe was hesitating, a huge force rushed out from the chaos crack and sucked Xia Zhe in. Xia Zhe, the god of war. Dean, the entire Huaxiao Alliance was shocked. If something happened to Xia Zhe, it would be an unbearable loss for the Huaxiao Alliance. After all, Xia Zhe was now the backbone of the Huaxiao Alliance. He could not fall. Su Yan was very anxious. Seeing Tai Baocai's serious face, he frowned and said, "Baocai, did you see something?" Hearing this, Tai Baocai said seriously, "It's hard to say now. This chaos rift is probably a training ground, but I can't be sure now. Besides, Xia Zhe has been sucked in. I don't think he will be in danger." Su Yan nodded. It's too easy to kill Xia Zhe with such a terrifying celestial phenomenon. What training ground? Yi Yuan also came. He frowned when he heard Tai Baocai's words. To be exact, this is a super training ground. Tai Baocai gritted his teeth and said, "There's a great opportunity inside, but it's hard to confirm it now. We can only make a decision after Xia Zhe comes out." Su Yan and Yi Yuan were confused. What kind of training ground could cause such a big commotion? Under their repeated questioning, Tai Baocai had no choice but to confess. "I've read about it in an ancient book. There's a super training ground on Earth. It's rumored that it was created by an extremely terrifying existence. Its purpose was to nurture powerhouses. Furthermore, there's a mortality rate in this training ground. Tai Baokai said, although there's a mortality rate, once you succeed in the trial field, it will have a great impact on your future cultivation. Su Yin and Yi Yuan looked at each other and frowned. They still couldn't confirm what was in the Chaos Rift, so they could only wait patiently. Time passed day after day. Xiaozhe met with an accident, but the Huaxia Alliance was still very calm. After all, no one could say for sure whether Xiaozhe had died or not. They didn't expect that they would wait for nearly half a month. Haha, look, War God Xiaozhe is out. In a Chaos Rift, all the major powers had people guarding it. During this period of time, not only did the weapon-building realm experts of the Huaxia Alliance come out, even Lu Peng and Lu Qingtian rushed out. Dean, what exactly did you experience? Lu Qingtian asked nervously. After Xiaozhe came out, he took a deep breath and looked at the people around him. There's indeed an ancient ruin inside this Chaos Rift. Everyone was excited. Lu Qingtian and the others were pleasantly surprised. Such a shocking ancient ruin must have a great opportunity inside. However, Xiaozhe's tone changed. This ancient ruin is different. It's a training ground, just like our Huaxia University's Tower of Trials. However, the test in this ancient ruin is very difficult. Xiaozhe sighed. It's a pity that the stronger one's cultivation is, the less opportunities one can get in the trial field. I stayed in there for half a month, and although I got some things, they were of no use to me. Instead, they were of great help to those in the Awakening Realm or the Life Spring Realm. The reward is even draconic energy. The eyes of the people around turned red. There was even draconic energy. What level of training ground was this? War God Xiaozhe, how do we enter the trial field? Some people couldn't wait to ask. Xiaozhe didn't hide anything and said, you can directly enter and accept the trial. Moreover, there's a ranking in the trial. I saw that there were many good things in the ranking stone tablet, including many divine weapons. But there's a danger of death in the trial. You must be careful after entering. Some people were very excited. There were even divine weapons. What was a little risk? Su Yin and Tai Baokai were also here. Tai Baokai pulled Su Yin away and said mysteriously, Kid, you're rich. This is a great opportunity. As long as you grasp it well, you can soar to the sky. With your awakened potential, you can definitely get a stronger trial. Huh? Su Yin was stunned and asked. There are strong and weak trials too. Of course. Tai Baokai said firmly. I can guarantee that Xiaozhe is only going through an ordinary trial. It's a pity that his strength is too high. This trial field is very scary. It can follow one's cultivation, step by step, and plan one's future path. Xiaozhe's path is already set. His early cultivation has many shortcomings, so he can't rush too high. This is a pity. With Xiaozhe's talent, he could go very far in the future. Su Yin sucked in a cold breath. With Xiaozhe's standard, he could only enter the normal trial? Didn't you want to deal with Zhu Yin? It's impossible for you to train alone. As long as you enter the Tower of Trials and accept the elite assessment, you will definitely be able to obtain the best training. There are even many prizes inside that cannot be nurtured by the current Earth's environment. Tai Baokai said and realized that Su Yin was staring at him. His face was simple and honest. He grinned and said, What's up? Speak. You're so eager to persuade me to enter. Do you want to take the bronze cauldron for yourself? Su Yin said with a black face. This was not like Tai Baocai's temperament. The trial was definitely dangerous. Who wants to take it for themselves? Tai Baokai stood up and said angrily, I'm doing this for your own good. The bronze cauldron has already recognized you as its master. You and I will play with it for a few days. Look at you. Su Yin didn't believe it, but the Tower of Trials was real. This news had already spread throughout the Huaxia Alliance. Xiaozhe felt that this was an opportunity for the rise of the Huaxia Alliance. There were definitely many treasures in the Tower of Trials, and there was also a perfect trial system. It was much better than feeling around. All the major powers had already begun to move towards the Chaos Rift. There were also some weapon-building experts who were unwilling to give up and want to go in and take a look. Xiaozhe didn't say much. This kind of thing wasn't easy to interfere with. The death rate wasn't particularly high anyway. A large number of Huaxi University's disciples have gone. Looks like it's true. This is a rare opportunity, and there are no restrictions. We can all go. According to War God Xia, the further we go, the more treasures we'll get. We might even get a divine weapon. The news of the Tower of Trials swept through the entire Huaxia Alliance. Hundreds of thousands of people rushed into the Chaos Rift. I'll go take a look too. Su Yin had already begun to move. Su Yin wanted to drag Tai Baokai along, but Su Yin wouldn't budge. His stubbornness made Su Yin suspicious. In the end, when Tai Baokai said that he was afraid of dying, Su Yin was completely speechless. Let's go, we'll go take a look too. Fatty couldn't wait any longer. They all rushed in. It was hard to imagine how big the Chaos Rift was. Su Yin took a deep breath and jumped directly into the Chaos Rift. As soon as he arrived, his entire body felt like it was about to collapse. All the hair on his body stood on end. He felt that the Chaos aura was extremely terrifying. If it came into contact with his body, he would definitely die. I'm in. Su Yin took a deep breath. He couldn't see anything clearly as he walked in the Chaos aura. Everything was a blur, and all around him was a destructive aura. With such a magnificent training ground, I like to see just how difficult the trial is. Su Yin was curious. He braced himself and rushed in. The Chaos Channel seemed very long, and he didn't know how long he had been walking for. With every step he took, Su Yin felt as if he was stepping on the flow of time. As he walked, Su Yin felt as if everything was being stripped away from him. Even his lifespan seemed to be slipping away. It was as if he had walked for many years on the ancient Chaos Road. In the haze, Su Yin's body began to glow. The Origin Sutra automatically revolved in his body, as if it were resonating with the ancient Chaos Road. He could faintly see that at the end of the chaos, there were tall and blurry figures sitting cross-legged. They were like peerless powerhouses that had once suppressed the past, present, and future, overlooking the river of time, watching the vicissitudes of time. But everything was too blurry. Su Yin couldn't see clearly. His heart was filled with shock. Just where was this place? Just how prosperous was the ancient earth? Who left behind this trial field? In the next moment, Su Yin discovered that he had reached the end of the road of chaos. What entered his eyes was a stretch of ruins. There were broken walls everywhere, and ancient stone walls were wrapped in chaos energy. The ruins were vast. Was this a ruined battlefield left behind from the ancient war of gods and demons? Su Yin was stunned as he looked around. He didn't see a single person. Hundreds of thousands of lives had rushed in. Where are they? Su Yin scratched his head, feeling that something was wrong. What is this? As Su Yin walked in, he saw that deep within the chaos ruins, there was an extremely ancient altar. It seemed as if it could reach the heavens, piercing straight into the clouds. The altar was large, and it was covered in a bronze luster. An ancient aura lingered around the altar, and there were 4 bronze statues of divine and extraordinary beasts placed in 4 different directions. Su Yin had just arrived here. The altar actually began to shine on its own. Its life was awakening, and at the moment of eruption, countless bronze runes began to blaze, piercing through the heavens. Rumble! Su Yin and the others were dumbfounded. This altar was too grand, and even the 4 bronze statues had awakened. For a time, a true dragon soared into the sky. A divine phoenix spread its wings. A black tortoise opened the sea, and a vermilion bird burned the heavens. The 4 divine beasts woke up one after another, and they revolved around the bronze altar. It was as if they were truly alive. The 4 divine beasts surrounded and protected the bronze altar as if they were protecting it. An indescribable power was awakening. The bronze altar that had been hibernating for eons emitted ancient and vicissitudes of life. Where have I come to? Am I the only one here? Su Yin looked as if he had seen a ghost. Hundreds of thousands of lives had rushed in, but there wasn't even a hair around him. Chapter 109. I can't resist it. Su Yan's aura was completely restored. He could feel that this was the strength of the bronze altar guiding him, awakening the potential within his body. When Su Yin reached his strongest state, the sound of sutras began to circulate within his body. This was the primordial sutra circulating on its own, pushing Su Yan's aura to another level. Su Yan's black hair danced in the wind. His entire body emitted a golden light that shined onto the bronze altar. Boom! The entire bronze altar rumbled. Strands of energy that could not be separated poured out, pulling Su Yin and disappearing under the altar. When Su Yin arrived above the altar, it was as if he were standing in the universe, standing at the peak of the starry skies. The entire bronze altar emitted an aura that enveloped Su Yin. Su Yin discovered that his entire body was being seen through. However, the crystal pendant around his neck began to shine, resonating with the altar. And at this moment, wave after wave of aura, as if gods and demons had descended from the heavens, began to pour out. Above the bronze altar, a massive door that had been sealed for countless years began to slowly open, emitting an innumerable supreme aura. What sort of smelting trial is this? Su Yin was stunned. He felt that the smelting trial he opened was not some ordinary smelting trial, nor was it some elite smelting trial. Now, Su Yin had already arrived at the smelting trial. He broke into a space, as if he had entered a cave of gods and demons. Countless supreme auras tumbled about, tangling with the terrifying obsessions of their past lives, filling the air with an incomparably powerful fighting spirit. Su Yin could see over 100 peerless geniuses revolving their strongest combat strength here, breaking through the strongest smelting trial. But these proud geniuses that once looked down upon the starry skies had all fallen, dying in the strongest smelting trial. There were many skeletons on the ground. Even after countless years had passed, some of these skeletons were still sparkling and translucent, as if they were divine bones that still contained a weak divine might. This is the elite smelting trial. Su Yan's expression changed. This was too ferocious. He didn't believe that the elite smelting trial could even kill the peerless Ingjia. Although Su Yin was confident, he wasn't confident to the point where he could compete with the ancient geniuses. After all, he was clear that Earth's environment couldn't be compared to ancient times. Who knew how strong these people were? The heaven and earth essence energy here is so rich. Su Yan's pupils shrank. He could sense that the heaven and earth essence energy in this smelting trial space was shockingly rich, so rich that it had already turned into liquid. Su Yan's first thought of the dragon sea. At this moment, the entire space exploded with a series of loud noises, as if a sealed supreme cave had been opened. In the entire ancient cave, dazzling heavenly marks of the great Tao flashed, as if all kinds of killing sword were clanging. Moreover, they had awakened. Countless golden sword embryos appeared behind Su Yan's back. Each sword embryo was filled with a god-slaying aura as they pierced towards Su Yan. Who can break through this level of intensity? Su Yan's expression changed drastically. He quickly ran forward. However, what surprised him was that these killing swords didn't immediately chase after him. Instead, they slowly crept into the cave. Could it be? Su Yan's hair stood on end. It was very likely that it was time. If the challenger didn't break through the ancient cave within a certain time, then the killing array here would spread throughout the smelting trial space. By then, it would be impossible for him to survive. He quickly rushed inside. This ancient cave wasn't very big. However, it was only a kilometer away. He estimated that with the speed of the killing array, it wouldn't take more than a month to fill up the entire ancient cave. How difficult is this smelting trial? I spent a month and I still can't break through the first stage. Su Yin quickly rushed inside. He discovered that there was an ancient giant door in the depths. Perhaps if he opened this giant door, he would be able to break through. Boom! At this moment, Su Yan's entire body trembled. This was a terrifying force attacking him. It even locked onto his body and wanted to send him flying. Su Yin swung his fist like lightning and struck out. It collided with a giant arm that came out from the darkness. Boom! Su Yin erupted with all his strength, and fiercely struck out. This strike was like striking a divine iron. It made Su Yan's entire body tremble. All the bones in his body seemed to be on the verge of cracking. It was very painful. Roar! A loud roar came from the darkness. It also emitted a divine radiance that overflowed the heavens. It was as if a divine furnace was burning. Su Yan saw a giant golden ape rush out from inside. Its body was huge, especially its two arms. They were astonishingly thick and strong. They were like two giant iron rods. When they were swung, they were surrounded by a heaven-shattering divine power. The Li Diamond Ape. Su Yan looked as if he had seen a ghost. How could there be a living creature here? The Li Diamond Ape. It was born with boundless strength. It could move mountains and overturn seas. Its physical body could be considered supreme among those in the same realm. This was a very terrifying giant. Could it be that this smelting trial is for me to defeat the Li Diamond Ape? Su Yan sucked in a breath of cold air. In the next moment, the Li Diamond Ape had already rushed up. Its two giant arms swung like divine iron rods. They collapsed the vast sky. A berserk power overturned everything. It was enough to tear apart a flood dragon. It was pressuring Su Yan and wanted to drive him out. Then come at me. Su Yan's hair danced in the wind. As he circulated the initial scripture, his body rippled with a heaven-shattering aura. He rushed up and smashed down with his fist. Rumble. This collision was fierce and tyrannical. Su Yan had never met such a monstrous opponent. His fist felt like it had smashed into steel. Blood spurted out from his fist. Su Yan staggered back. The blood in his body was boiling. Blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. The Li Diamond Ape chased after him relentlessly. It pounced once again, bringing with it an unparalleled strength that could tear apart the heavens and earth. Su Yan's eyes widened in anger. His physical body and life springs were pushed to their limits. But what made him pale was that the Li Diamond Ape was also increasing in strength. This is based on my strength. The difficulty of this trial is set, but the Li Diamond Ape is stronger than me. Su Yan had already recovered to his limit and rushed towards his scalp. His entire body rippled with a huge dragon-shaped pillar, and he activated his dragon form, pushing his strongest power to attack the large power King Kong ape that was pouncing towards him. But the Li Diamond Ape became stronger. It circulated a powerful body-tempering technique. Its two arms were like flood dragons, filled with a heaven-shattering aura. It was too crazy. This primordial creature with great combat experience made Su Yan feel as if he had fallen into purgatory. Su Yan felt as if he had been struck by lightning. His body was about to be torn apart. I'm going to die. This was Su Yan's only thought. He was going to be torn in two by the Li Diamond Ape. But the Li Diamond Ape did not kill Su Yan. Instead, it threw him away and disappeared into the darkness. Su Yan crawled up with difficulty. His entire body was in excruciating pain. He understood. The Li Diamond Ape was a stone blocking his path. It would not kill Su Yan. And the only thing that could kill Su Yan was the constantly advancing killing array. A the Li Diamond Ape that is stronger than me. It also has more combat experience than me. This is going to be troublesome. Su Yan crawled up. He sat down and began to absorb the divine essence within the Supreme Cave. As he absorbed it, Su Yan discovered that the energy emitted from here was very suitable for healing his wounds. In just 3 hours, Su Yan had recovered to his peak state. He thought about the battle between the Li Diamond Ape and didn't want to waste any more time. He rushed forwards once more. Come out and fight. Su Yan's voice exploded within the ancient cave. The Li Diamond Ape rushed out from the darkness once more. It was wild and terrifying, filled with an aura that could tear apart the universe. It ruthlessly smashed towards Su Yan. The Li Diamond Ape's control of strength could be said to have reached the pinnacle. It was completely suppressing Su Yan. Boom! It was like an ancient mountain was crashing down. This sort of bitter and difficult battle was extremely cruel. The Li Diamond Ape's strength was too abnormal, and its combat experience was incomparably rich. Like this, Su Yin was ruthlessly thrown out by the lead diamond ape again and again. After dozens of times, Su Yin was on the verge of death. He discovered a very serious problem. The lead diamond ape's strength was increasing. This is too ruthless. If I can't break through, I will be tortured to death by the lead diamond ape. Su Yan's complexion paled. After dozens of times, he still couldn't find a single flaw. Then there was only one way. That was to forcefully suppress the lead diamond ape to pass this trial. Su Yin sat cross-legged on the ground, recuperating from his wounds. After dozens of battles, his harvests were great. His control of strength had also increased. Even the blood vitality in his body had become thicker. This place was suitable for cultivation. The energy within the cave was very beneficial to the human body. Crackle, crackle. The bones in Su Yan's body moved rhythmically, emitting a sonorous sound. His weak aura slowly strengthened, and the source of his qi and blood began to rise and fall. His limbs and bones faintly emitted a vigorous feeling of strength, like an indestructible steel. This is the feeling. Su Yan had a smile on his face. His temperament gradually changed. His entire body emitted a powerful fighting spirit. It could be said that he was a refined iron that had been tempered thousands of times. His entire mortal body was filled with vigorous strength. Boom! When Su Yin stood up, he rushed toward the lead diamond ape at an extremely fast speed. With every step, Su Yan's mortal body became stronger. After dozens of steps, his aura was completely different. His entire body was filled with an aura that even the heavens couldn't conceal. All of the energy within his body densely covered his entire body. It was like a sharp sword that pierced through the air. The moment it left its body, his mortal body turned into a weapon of war as he threw himself at the lead diamond ape. This was a brutal battle. It was a contest of pure physical strength. Every time they collided, the heavens shook and the earth trembled. All sorts of deafening booms exploded in this place. After dozens of collisions, Su Yan's lips began to bleed, but he was still unharmed. He wasn't as distressed as he was the first time. Su Yin and the lead diamond ape had collided dozens of times, but he still felt that it wasn't enough. This was because Su Yin found it difficult to shake the lead diamond ape with his strength. Little fellow, your progress is good, but if you continue fighting like this, you will die sooner or later. I really don't know how you open the strongest smelting trial. Chapter 110. Who is it? The strongest trial? Su Yan's expression changed. He crawled up and looked around. He cursed in his heart. He had actually opened the strongest trial. This was definitely the cruelest trial. After all, Su Yan had just opened the normal trial. Tai Baokai was surprised that Su Yan would open the elite trial. However, Su Yan had opened the strongest trial. At this moment, an old man appeared behind Su Yan. He was wearing a simple Taoist robe. His white hair covered his face, making it difficult to see his face. Su Yan was shocked. He looked at the old Taoist and asked, "Are you a human or a ghost?" It seems like the trial grounds have not been opened for a long time. The old Taoist yawned and stretched. He said calmly, "You are very lucky to have opened the trial grounds, but you are also very unlucky. Over the years, there have been countless Ingjie who have died in the trial grounds. The guardians of the first trial are also different. The diamond apes are gifted with extraordinary strength. An adult diamond ape can tear apart gods and demons. You want to use strength to defeat a diamond ape? Your current brute strength is not enough. Even if your potential is stronger than a diamond ape, it is not enough. The strength of a diamond ape will always be ahead of you. Who are you?" Su Yan felt a headache coming on. He looked at the old Taoist warily and asked, "Are you also the guardian of the strongest trial tower? Are you someone from ancient times? You will know my questions in the future." The old Taoist said calmly, "You have 3 chances to ask me questions. I can answer 3 of them. Let me remind you that they are all related to the trial. If you can't pass it, you will become a corpse after a while." Su Yan clenched his fists. He was shocked. 3 questions. What if you can't answer them? Su Yin said after a moment of silence. Ask away, the old Taoist said confidently. His voice was filled with arrogance, as if there was nothing in the world that he didn't know. All right then. First question, why does this training field exist? Su Yin asked. Could it be that it's as simple as just passing through the trials? Was it left behind by some expert? Also, how many stages were there in this training ground? Did anyone pass? Su Yin couldn't help but think of the Tower of Trials left behind by Bamboo Moon. You sure have a lot of questions. The old Taoist smiled and said, I can answer the last question for free now. From the beginning until now, a long time has passed, and no one has been able to pass the trial field. What did you say? No one passed. A long time has passed. Su Yin looked as if he had seen a ghost. There's nothing to be surprised about. The old Taoist smiled. Don't talk about clearing it. If you can clear the 7th or 8th level, you'll be able to do whatever you want in the universe. Su Yan's breathing quickened. How could a training field on Earth be so terrifying? If one could reach the 7th or 8th level, they would be able to do whatever they wanted in the universe. This was simply too inconceivable. Forgive me for not being able to tell you who created this training field. There are a total of 9 stages in the training field, and the test of each stage is different. Of course, as long as you can clear it, the rewards will be very generous. The old Taoist said slowly, the first question is over. I advise you not to waste any more time and ask what you need to ask. You said I use brute force? Su Yin pondered for a while and said, what you mean is that I can use divine martial arts. Does that mean you can teach me divine martial arts? Of course. The old Taoist nodded slightly and said, the purpose of my existence is to help the challengers. Only if you show enough talent will I spend time to help you clear the stages. Remember, any physique or potential has nothing to do with the training field. You will experience the cruelest test here. I've seen many talented geniuses over the years. So what if you have a supreme body? There are many who have died here. Su Yin left a question and didn't ask anymore. He quickly sat down to recover and absorb the spirit essence in the training field to recover his energy. This deadly diamond ape strength will gradually increase. According to my current strength, I'm afraid I won't be able to defeat it no matter how strong I am. Then I can only use the Big Dipper Fist. Does this old Taoist know the Big Dipper Fist? Su Yin was still a little suspicious. It would be too unbelievable if he said it out loud. He deeply felt that Earth was hiding a great secret. Could it be that Earth was once extremely prosperous and was an extremely powerful ancient planet? Buzz! Su Yin recuperated for a day. When he stood up, his entire body was covered in a resplendent divine radiance. The fist intent of the Alcade Fist erupted along with him. The sky was filled with resplendent golden clouds as it smashed towards the deadly diamond ape. The explosive power of this fist was astonishing. After all, it was the Big Dipper Fist. The Alcade Fist could be considered a top-notch minor divine ability. Su Yin borrowed his strength to bombard the deadly diamond ape. Fist after fist, it was enough to shake the deadly diamond ape. But there was a very important point. The explosive power of this fist was astonishing. The consumption of Su Yan's energy was too astonishing. He couldn't keep bombarding the Alcade Fist to deal with it. Su Yin was mercilessly sent flying once again. He frowned in pain and said, Old Taoist, can you give me some pointers? Of course. His answer moved Su Yin. This old Taoist knew the Big Dipper Fist? The Alcade Fist you used just now didn't have the power to break armies. The old Taoist said indifferently, it seems like your mastery of martial arts is very limited. Although you know the cultivation method of the Alcade Fist, if you want to master this Alcade Fist, you must guide the chi, blood, and strength of your entire body to erupt with the power to break armies. Only then can you display the might of the Alcade Fist. The Big Dipper Fist is said to be a fist technique, but in reality, it is a martial art that guides the entire body. The old Taoist shook his head and said, your Alcade Fist can barely be considered a beginner. You haven't cultivated it to a certain level yet. Take your time to comprehend it. Su Yin frowned and pondered. He closed his eyes and visualized the Alcade Fist in the Jade Room that Bamboo Moon gave him. When he used the Alcade Fist, it caused the entire starry sky to tremble. Even the stars in the outer realms would shake. Of course, this was the strongest Alcade Fist. Su Yin couldn't possibly erupt with such power. He had to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth to have a chance. Brilliant light, army breaker. Su Yin muttered to himself. The qi and blood in his entire body undulated and circulated. He was visualizing the brilliant light fist and slowly comprehending the true meaning of the Alcade Fist. What he means is to condense all the strength in my body and use the might of the army breaker to unleash the power of the brilliant light. Su Yan's eyes lit up. He wasn't in a hurry to act. He still had some time, and he couldn't waste it on charging blindly. He felt that if he couldn't break through, he would really die in the strongest trial field. Su Yin was bitterly cultivating in the strongest trial field. It had been 10 days since the large group of cultivators from the Huaxia Alliance had entered the trial field. Of the hundreds of thousands of cultivators who had rushed in, over 10,000 had died. This shocking number caused a huge uproar. Even 90% of the cultivators were rejected at the door. The difficulty of the trial was also shocking. When Tai Baokai heard this news, he had a look of righteousness on his face. He estimated that only a few people who had entered had initiated the elite trial. The rest were all ordinary. Su Yin has also fallen. This news spread throughout the Huaxia Alliance. For a moment, the entire Huaxia Alliance was suffocating. The current Su Yan's reputation was too great, and he couldn't help but attract attention. However, ever since Su Yin had entered, he hadn't appeared. That's impossible, right? Su Yin has fallen in the trial field? He was in the awakening realm. That's like 10,000 horses galloping. What's impossible about that? So many people have died. Why is Su Yin an exception? Don't forget that the first trial's duration was 10 days, but Su Yin still hasn't come out. Some people couldn't believe it. Su Yin had fallen? Lu Qingtian's expression was ugly. How could Su Yin have fallen? With his battle strength, it shouldn't be difficult for him to pass the trial field. They didn't dare to believe this. When Tai Baokai heard the news, he cursed. How can he fail the ordinary trial? Su Yin must be in the elite trial. It wasn't 10 days. Su Yin, you can't die. You must come out alive. When Yuan Zhengqi and the others heard the news, their expressions were ugly. Once Su Yin died in the trial field, what would happen to his treasures? Moreover, Zhu Yin was in seclusion, trying to break through to the next realm. He didn't know about the trial field. However, if Su Yin died in the trial field, Zhu Yin would go crazy, especially Yuan Jingqi, who was both happy and angry. He was also expelled from the academy because of Su Yin. Last time at base 9, he was almost shouted to death at the gate by Su Yin. Su Yin, passing the trial field is nothing. Although I don't know why you haven't come out, you can't do it anymore. Teng Yingjie was full of confidence. Ever since he followed Zhu Yin and the others, his strength had also risen. His ranking in the trial field was even close to reaching the top 10. If it weren't for the older generation pressuring him, Teng Yingjie would have had the confidence to reach the peak. Jiang Wuhan had been beaten to death by Su Yin. Yue Ling was also very low-key. Now, the younger generation seemed to be faintly led by Su Yin. Teng Yingjie had a special physique. As long as he had enough talent, he would be able to reach a very high position in the trial field. This matter caused an uproar. However, some people discovered where the problem lay. The martial god and Tong Huoyin hadn't come out. Some people were suspicious. Could it be that there were other difficulties in the trial field? Time passed day after day. Another 10 days passed. Su Yan's space in the trial field became smaller and smaller. A full 20 days passed. Every day, he was filled with fear and trepidation. He had been beaten by the Li's Diamond Ape over 100 times. Rumble. Within the depths of the ancient cave, a shadow suddenly stood up. It was like a demon god. Within its 4 limbs and hundreds of bones, the sound of a great river was transmitted. Su Yan's aura had completely awakened. Bones as mountains, meridians as rivers. Su Yin towered between heaven and earth. His long black hair fell over his shoulders. He was as steady as a boulder. His bones seemed to have transformed into stars. His meridians seemed to have transformed into rivers. Su Yan's entire flesh shell was like an ancient star domain that was gushing with light. He visualized the beginning scripture. With the beginning scripture's Tao and laws, he evolved the Big Dipper fist. At this moment, when Su Yin began to awaken, his aura climbed steadily. When it reached its limit, a heaven and earth furnace was born. Su Yin reared his head back and roared. His aura devoured rivers and mountains. His entire body seemed to have transformed into a beam of light that could rush into the starry skies. Wong. His body was blazing with brilliance. In an instant, he rushed forwards. His entire fist soared upwards and pulled on the strength that had been tempered within his body. The moment it erupted, the thousands of layers of golden divine light had the power to split apart mountains and rivers. Rumble. This fist collided with the Lee's Diamond Ape Fist. The two incomparably powerful forces collided, causing energy ripples to spread out in all directions. The Lee's Diamond Ape roared. He revolved his body-tempering technique. His two giant arms could be said to be the strength of a barbaric dragon. They suddenly smashed down, wanting to suppress Su Yin once more. Sun opening. Su Yin's feet stepped on the ground. His eyes were filled with anger. He was like a Buddhist Vajra with glaring eyes. His entire body seemed to have opened the gates of a star domain. He remained motionless, looking down at the starry skies with disdain. The aura within his body surged. His masculine aura soared to the heavens. When Dali's Diamond Ape's giant arms smashed down on his body, he was like a mountain, a golden bell, a giant furnace. He forcibly resisted the power of Dali's Diamond Ape. Su Yin remained motionless. His entire body seemed to be cast from gold, shining with a dazzling radiance. Big Dipper Fist. Su Yan's hands formed a fist seal. He turned into a golden god of war, his aura piercing through the skies. As the Big Dipper Fist awakened, Su Yan's body was like a blurry ancient star, rippling with terrifying energy. Rumble. He pressed forwards. Dali's Diamond Ape couldn't withstand Su Yan's aura and was sent flying backwards. Chapter 111. This was the might of the army destroyer, unstoppable. Su Yan's body evolved into the power of the Yang opening realm. His body was originally strong, but now was even more tyrannical and abnormal. His body was like a blurry ancient star. The army destroyer's power was so strong that even the Dali Diamond Ape couldn't block Su Yan's power and was sent flying. This scene caused Su Yan's face to be full of smiles. He had finally comprehended the true meaning of the Big Dipper Fist. Moreover, Su Yin discovered that the power of the two great fist techniques could be fused together, causing their power to explosively increase. However, he regretted that his current strength was too low. Otherwise, his battle strength would be extremely abnormal. This is the benefit of a divine ability. If I were to grasp a great divine ability, how strong would I be? Su Yin thought to himself. The Big Dipper Fist could be fused together. Once the 7 fists were fused together, their power would be comparable to a great divine ability. His eyes flashed with joy. He had already passed the first trial of the strongest trial. Perhaps there would be a good prize. In these 20 days, Su Yan's harvest was also great. Not only did his strength increase, his battle strength also increased by a level. He felt that even if he were to face a great expert at the tool-building realm, Su Yin would be able to contend with them for a bit. Once his life spring reached the 9th layer, fighting against a tool-building realm expert would be a cinch. Not bad. The old Taoist nodded in satisfaction. He walked up and said, "You only spent 20 days to pass the first trial. You're already very good. This is also because your foundation is strong. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult for you to pass the first trial. If I don't have a divine ability, will I die?" Su Yin couldn't help but ask. No. The old Taoist shook his head and said, "You won't. If you don't have a divine ability, I can pass it to you. Of course, if you still fail, then you and the divine ability will not be able to leave this trial space. Su Yin was speechless. He walked up and asked, "May I ask, Senior, what kind of reward will I receive?" "Reward?" The old Taoist shook his head and said, "Don't be constrained by external objects. Do you think anyone can barge into the strongest trial? The strongest smelting trial is tailor-made for your shortcomings. If you can break through it, that is equivalent to breaking through yourself. Moreover, you have only passed the first trial. The first trial is the easiest, and the further you go, the harder it will be." Su Yin sucked in a breath of cold air. The further he went, the more difficult it would become. The strongest smelting trial was just too abnormal. Of course, the rewards won't run away either. The old Taoist looked at Su Yin and pondered for a while before saying, "Generally speaking, the rewards are determined according to the difficulty of the challenge and the progress of the challenge. Even if it's a powerhouse, the rewards for the first challenge are the same. Since I'm at the highest difficulty, it should be better, right?" Su Yin was a little impatient. The old Taoist nodded and said, "There are a few things, but you can only choose one. The fruit of life, a minor divine ability, and a divine weapon." Although Su Yin didn't know what a fruit of life was, how could a divine weapon be given out as a reward? Just how rich was this training field? Just who had left it behind? And this was only the reward for the first trial. What is a fruit of life? Su Yin felt that he wouldn't be able to use the divine weapon or minor divine ability. It can extend one's lifespan and also help one recover from serious injuries. The old Taoist words made Su Yin excited. "Senior, my teacher's life spring is broken. Can I use a fruit of life to repair it?" "No." The old Taoist frowned. "A fruit of life is not enough for a broken life spring. This is related to one's life gate." Su Yin was a little disappointed. If Yi Yuan could repair his life spring, he wouldn't be any weaker than Zu Yin. "Then I'll take the fruit of life." Su Yin could only choose this item. He had both a divine ability and a divine weapon, so the fruit of life was the best choice for now. The old Taoist took out a green fruit. After Su Yin took it, he felt the majestic qi essence contained in the fruit of life. This shocked him. This fruit was too powerful and definitely not ordinary. He felt that it could break through to the 8th level of the life spring realm. The reward for passing the 2nd level should be even more generous. Su Yin was eager to try, but the old Taoist had already brought him to open the door to the 2nd level. But the scene inside made Su Yin petrified. Upon entering, Su Yin felt as if he had entered a world of gods and demons, a stage where geniuses competed for supremacy. He heard the roars of true dragons and the cries of immortal phoenixes. He saw one unrivaled young supreme being after another contending for hegemony under the heavens, defeating all the heroes under the heavens, wanting to be unrivaled in the world. "Senior, what's going on?" Su Yin was stunned. In the past, many young geniuses died here, but because of the uniqueness of the training ground, their supreme qi can be preserved here. Su Yin was shocked. "You mean, these illusory shadows are the supreme qi left behind by the fallen geniuses?" He felt his blood run cold. In that case, after he died, would he also become one of them? The entire space was huge, just like a huge arena. Geniuses from all walks of life were fighting, and there were even divine beasts. Su Yin even felt an unparalleled aura. It was as if he saw the supreme physique Tai Bao Kai spoke of dominating a corner of the arena. "That's right," the old Taoist said solemnly. "The 2nd level is extremely dangerous. It's the same as fighting against the geniuses of one era after another. Of course, although it's called Supreme Qi, there are only a dozen or so young Supreme Beings. The rest are a bit weaker. And even if they are young Supreme Beings, they won't be in their strongest state." Su Yin nodded. He could feel the strength of these young Supreme Beings in the training ground. And this wasn't their strongest state. Then how strong would the Supreme Physique be? Su Yin was silent for a moment. Then he suddenly smiled and said, "Senior, my 3rd question is, what do you think my chances of passing are?" The old Taoist didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You brat, I've been in the training ground for so long, and this is the first time someone has asked me this question. Does this count as cheating? I hope Senior can help me. I don't know anything about the world of cultivation. Su Yin bowed respectfully. This was related to his life. Even a supreme physique could die in there. Su Yin would definitely choose carefully. Hearing this, the old Taoist's face slowly turned serious. He looked at Su Yin and said word by word, "The death rate is very high. You have a 50% chance of passing." 50%. Su Yin's face changed. This was too low. Yes, 50%. The old Taoist sighed. You should choose for yourself. But let me remind you, if you pass the second level, or even the third level, you will get the secret medicine to heal your life spring. There really is such a secret medicine here. Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. This was worth a try. Yi Yuan had risked his life to help him several times. Su Yin had always wanted to repay him. I've decided. This is what I should do now. Su Yin said seriously. It's very simple. You just have to rush through and reveal your aura. They will come to kill you. If you can endure 10 days and 10 nights in the arena, you can pass the third level. But I have to remind you that you have to be in your strongest state. You don't have to worry about exhaustion during the process. You will have an endless supply of godly energy for you to continue fighting. The old Taoist knew that what was frightening was not the strength of these geniuses, but the 10 days and 10 nights of cruel spiritual training. Su Yin took a deep breath and looked at the arena with a determined gaze. The next moment, he released his aura. His essence, qi, and spirit were completely different. He was like a god of war who reigned supreme in the starry sky. His whole body emitted an aura of invincibility. This was an aura that suppressed everyone and looked down on the world. Boom, boom. At this moment, the area around the arena was shaking and rumbling. Wisps of supreme aura exploded in the sky like lightning. Every floating mass of aura emitted a monstrous battle intent. It was filled with spiritual willpower that could tear apart the enemy. Kill. Su Yin heard loud roars one after another. In his spiritual world, it was as if the protagonists of a certain era had arrived. They had once contended for hegemony and walked the path of invincibility. The old Taoist expression was serious. A portion of the supreme aura had drifted out from the depths of the training ground. Some of the young supreme beings were very terrifying. They could be said to be the protagonists of an era. Dozens of blurry figures formed by supreme aura pounced on him from all directions. In Su Yin's spiritual world, a purgatory appeared. They wanted to kill Su Yin and prove their path to invincibility. You've all fallen. Today I, Su Yin, will release all of you from purgatory. Su Yin was like a ruthless stubble. His hair danced wildly and his whole body rippled with blood essence. In an instant, he raised his fist and punched the young geniuses coming from all directions. This was a battle for hegemony. It was equivalent to a battle for the champion of the arena. Everyone wanted to be the ruler of the world. Everyone wanted to be the protagonist of an era. Who dares to take a punch from me? Su Yin raised his head and roared. His true intent filled the sky. His body was like a furnace, and his aura swallowed the heavens. Endless power vibrated from his body and blasted towards the various sky prides who were charging towards him. His speed was fast to the extreme. Punch after punch, he bombarded the enemies in all directions like a storm. A battle of the pinnacle. Su Yin was unstoppable. His body was too domineering. Geniuses of the same realm found it difficult to shake Su Yin's body. Su Yin couldn't help but sigh at the uniqueness of the training ground. After all, the life essence of the fallen geniuses was forcefully molded into a heroic spirit to form the second trial of the training ground. It was equivalent to accepting the strongest trial in history. Rumble. The sound of collision exploded in the arena. More than 10 geniuses joined forces. No matter how strong Su Yin was, it was difficult for him to resist. In a single exchange, his body trembled and his skin was about to crack. But his aura swallowed the heavens. A terrifying feeling of power spread throughout his body. The moment the Alcade Fist was activated, it enveloped a genius. This fist smashed down, causing the genius's body to tremble violently. He was about to be smashed to pieces by Su Yan's fist. Su Yan borrowed the advantage of his body and activated the Initiation Sutra. He charged forward in a spurt of energy. He resisted the power of the surrounding geniuses and smashed the genius into pieces. Even his life essence was about to explode. But at this moment, Su Yan's body rumbled. The Initiation Sutra was activated. Su Yan's body was like a furnace, about to seize the fortune of heaven and earth. This life essence that was about to collapse was swallowed by the Initiation Sutra. This life essence could be called the most amazing tonic in the world. It made Su Yan's body tremble with excitement. It was as if he could seize this life essence and use it to nourish his life. The old Taoist stood up. He couldn't believe that Su Yan had swallowed a life essence. Could it be? The old Taoist priest's eyes suddenly widened, and he clenched his fists tightly. He saw with his own eyes that Su Yan's physical body was fully awakened. His life fountain rumbled, and the chanting of sutras in his body was loud and clear. Waves of energy that could seize the fortune of heaven and earth were emitted. Su Yan had swallowed the heaven's pride chi. This chi seemed to be able to nourish the fleshly body and life. At this moment, Su Yan felt as if he had broken free from a prison, as if he had broken free from his shackles. His flesh began to transform after absorbing the chi of life, as if an immortal phoenix was being reborn from the flames. Ha ha ha! Su Yan looked up to the sky and laughed. His battle prowess became even more ferocious. His killing intent spread out. Fourth update. Chapter 112. Su Yan did not expect the Origin Sutra to be able to absorb this kind of chi. This was too overbearing. This chi was of great help to him. Su Yan felt that his body naturally lacked this kind of thing. He needed this kind of chi to nourish his life. Was it because of the Origin Sutra? Or was it because his body was special? Su Yan could not figure it out, but he knew that if he could obtain more, his body would advance by leaps and bounds. I only have 10 days. I have to hurry. Su Yan looked up to the sky and laughed. This fortune was too difficult. He had to obtain it all. He had to defeat everyone and seize the fortune. This was because it wasn't just his physical body. His life spring was also being nourished by this origin energy. He didn't even dare to think about such a fortune. The old Taoist was already in a daze. Others called this place a nightmare, but Su Yan did not want to leave. He wanted to fight for 1 or 2 years. Now, in the Chaos Rift, there was a huge empty space. There were not many people gathered here, because once they failed, they could no longer appear in the trial field. Everyone only had one chance. Martial God. In the Chaos Rift, there was a huge space. There were many people sitting cross-legged here. They were all recuperating and preparing for the next trial. But when a figure with a powerful aura suddenly appeared here, it caused a huge commotion. The martial god Yuan walked out, and his entire body still had terrifying killing intent remaining. It was as if he'd experienced a brutal battle. The people in the field had different expressions. Some were shocked, some were pleasantly surprised, and some had ugly expressions. What was going on? Just as Yuan came out, Yuan's name appeared in first place, and he had obtained 1,000 points. Impossible. Ding Jun's expression changed. Yuan had only come out once. How could he obtain 1,000 points? What was going on? Lu Qingtian and the others were also confused. They quickly went up to ask. Yuan was also very surprised. He immediately understood that there was an elite trial. Ding Jun's expression was gloomy. As one of the top 10 experts, the martial god's trial was different from theirs. This was simply a slap in the face. It's very likely that Su Yan is undergoing the elite trial. Tung Yingjia's expression also turned ugly. He originally thought that Su Yan had died. He did not know that there was still an elite trial. Many people felt that it was unfair. However, when they thought about Su Yan's awakening potential, they felt relieved. Su Yan hasn't come out yet? However, it was impossible. He knew that the elite trial, although it was very difficult, with Su Yan's potential, he could not be trapped for so long. Something happened. Yuan returned to the academy and told Xia Zhe about what had happened. Xiaozhe also sighed. He didn't get the opportunity to participate in the elite training. It seemed that he had to meet some special conditions. Tai Baokai was also anxious and uneasy. He asked Yi Yuan about his experience in the elite trial. Yi Yuan was also uneasy. Why wasn't he out yet? Logically speaking, Suyin should have come out by now. Time passed day after day. 3 days later, when Tong Huayin came out of the elite trial, a piece of news spread like wildfire, causing a huge sensation. Suyin is most likely dead. The martial god and Tong Huayin both qualified for the elite trial. According to Tong Huayin, the trial was very difficult. It was equivalent to an earth trial. He only came out at the last moment. Suyin has fallen. The entire China alliance was silent. Some people had speculated that Suyin might have undergone a different trial. Now that it was confirmed, they felt that it was inconceivable. Suyin is dead. That bastard is dead. Damn it, how could he die? Tong Huayin's face was ashen. He had obtained a great opportunity in the elite trial. It was mainly because of his eyes. His innate silver pupils were actually a very powerful treasure eye. When he cultivated to a certain level, he could use the treasure eye to kill enemies. Tong Huayin's strength had greatly increased, and his injuries had also healed. His silver pupils were filled with a fierce aura, making it difficult for others to look at him directly. He originally wanted to teach Su Yin a lesson after he came out. After all, he had suffered too much at Su Yan's hands. But now that Su Yin had fallen, Tong Huayin could not feel happy. He was dead, but who could he vent his anger on? Fatty, who beat you up? Tai Baokai looked at the bruised and swollen Fatty and said disdainfully, "Look at your conduct. Did you secretly touch that beauty's but—" Fatty was not in the mood to joke with Tai Baokai. Lin Wanlan, who had followed them, also sighed. Fatty was angry at Tong Huayin for cursing Su Yin, so he went up to argue with him. In the end, he was taught a lesson. Baokai, you said that Su Yin really fell? Fatty still could not believe it. It would be great if he was in the elite trial. Tai Baotsai's head drooped. He was not in a good mood. He said in a low voice, with his potential, he should be in the second trial. But that's not what I'm worried about. You mean there are other trials? Fatty's face lit up with joy. Don't be happy too early. Tai Baokai shook his head and said, there is the strongest trial. But to pass the strongest trial is too difficult. The death rate is very high. If Yi Yuan were to try it, he wouldn't even have the slightest chance of passing. What? Even teacher Yi Yuan doesn't have the slightest chance? Fatty and Lin Wanlan's faces changed. There was actually the strongest trial. Even Tong Huayin had almost died in the elite trial. One could imagine how difficult the strongest trial was. Impossible. It's impossible for Su Yin to activate the strongest trial. Tai Baokai could not believe it. He felt that Su Yin was qualified to open the strongest trial, but it was impossible for him to open the strongest trial space. This had nothing to do with potential. As for what it was specifically, Tai Baokai was not sure. The strongest trial? Su Yin must be inside. Yi Yuan received the news and was both surprised and happy. The elite trial was difficult, but the strongest trial was even more difficult. Could Su Yin come out alive? The strongest trial. It was an extremely cruel trial for a young, supreme being. Su Yin had already fought inside for 3 days and 3 nights. He had not slept or rested, but his aura was also climbing steadily. His battle strength had also increased by leaps and bounds. Su Yin had already killed over 20 Heaven's Prides. Come and fight. He was like an overlord that swept through the arena. At this moment, he swooped down. His palm formed a fist and smashed towards the first supreme being in the arena, the true dragon. Kill! Su Yan's battle strength soared to the peak. This was a fierce battle. As Su Yin fought with the true dragon, no one dared to come close. This was a battle between supreme beings, a battle between the kings of the arena. The battle was fierce. Even Su Yin found it difficult to endure. His entire body was on the verge of being crushed by the true dragon. Su Yan's body was like a furnace. In this cruel trial, the Big Dipper fist circulation became smoother and smoother. Every time he raised his hand, a tyrannical aura would sweep out. Su Yin and the true dragon fought in close combat. Fist after fist, bloody fist collided. The consumption of energy was great. But in this trial field, there was no need to worry about consumption. After all, there was a divine essence that was beneficial to the recovery of the human body. It constantly gathered around Su Yan's body, allowing him to continue fighting. Su Yan's spiritual will was extremely tenacious. In the past, he had awakened his primordial spirit under the crushing pressure of Blood Spear. Even when facing the invincible true dragon, Su Yan's spiritual will was still able to clash. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Explosions rang out from all directions. Countless empty spaces sank in. This was a battle of pure physical bodies. They were both fighting at the same cultivation realm. This was one of the mystical aspects of the trial field. It could suppress all strength to the same cultivation realm as Su Yin. The true dragon was an invincible monster. Only when he truly fought with it did Su Yin realize just how terrifying it was. His entire body was riddled with wounds. There were several times where he was nearly torn in half. Su Yin understood that although this was a true dragon, this was a true dragon that had evolved from the trial field. If he were to encounter a living true dragon, the battle would be even more intense. Su Yin and the true dragon battled for an entire day and night. In the final collision, both he and the true dragon trembled. Su Yan's yang opening power was torn apart, and the true dragon was split in half by his army-shattering power. Pooh! Su Yin coughed out a large mouthful of blood. As he was sent flying away, the Origin Sutra had swallowed up the true dragon's life energy. At the moment this life energy entered his body, Su Yan's aura changed once more. His entire body seemed to have been nourished by a destiny-changing energy. In that instant, layers and layers of aura that could suppress eternity rose up from his body. It was as if an invincible and supreme physique was slowly being unsealed. Using energy to nourish life, Su Yan's life had transformed. His entire body began to emit a terrifying pressure, filled with a strength that seemed to be able to uproot the heavens and earth. For some unknown reason, Su Yin discovered that his body had transformed. It was as if the true dragon's origin energy had completely replenished Su Yan's losses, causing his physique to contain a divine might. It was as if Su Yan's physique could also awaken. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The entire arena trembled. Su Yin seemed to spit out a supreme aura. His divine might swept out in all directions. He was fighting a great battle here. Day after day, every day, he experienced the cruelest battles and engaged in bloody clashes with invincible existences of the same realm. With each passing day, Su Yan's physique and spirituality surged by a bit. His strength was also strengthened by a portion because this origin energy could be said to be a great tonic for the human body. This seemed to be a great tonic for the human body, making up for Su Yan's deficiencies. Unbelievable. The old Taoist was tongue-tied. It was as if he was looking at a rusty sword embryo. Day after day, the rust fell off. Day after day, it became brighter. After 10 days and 10 nights, Su Yin killed the 10 invincible geniuses. On this day, the sword embryo emitted a monstrous golden divine light that was extremely resplendent. Su Yin was reborn from the ashes and received the strongest baptism, mending the divine treasures of the human body. Rumble, rumble. He released a divine might that could suppress all living beings in the universe from the inside out. As Su Yin awakened to the extreme, layers of terrifying phenomena appeared behind him. Behind Su Yin was a vast expanse of primal chaos. It was as majestic and unfathomable as the ocean. The scene here was like when Su Yin opened the Snow Mountain dragon coffin and saw a person who looked exactly like him lying in the primal chaos. Chapter 113. Divine power shot out from the heavens and earth, as if a peerless force that could move the 9 heavens and 10 earths was coming down. The vast and endless sea of chaos roared, as if it was about to split the entire sky. This was a vision. Although it was a power that didn't exist, the aura that emanated from this vision made the heavens and earth dim. Su Yin stood between the heavens and earth, his hair fluttering in the wind. His entire body was filled with the aura of a king, causing the entire arena to hum. All the geniuses who were still alive were trembling on the ground. Not enough. There's too little chi of life. Su Yin frowned. It was far from enough to open his physique. He felt that he needed more chi of life to make up for the flaws in his physique. Moreover, ordinary chi of life could no longer satisfy his physique. This made Su Yin both surprised and happy. He was happy because in these 10 days and nights of fighting, Su Yan's battle strength had increased dramatically. His entire body was filled with inexhaustible strength. His physical strength had increased by a notch. Su Yin felt that his body was approaching the peak of the life spring stage. This was the fortune that the Initiation Sutra had seized. It allowed Su Yin to touch the shackles of his physical body. One more step, and he would be able to reach the weapon-building stage. Although his life spring hadn't reached the 8th heavenly layer, Su Yan's life spring potential had increased again. Overall, in the 2nd stage of the Tower of Trials, Su Yin had obtained a fortune that others didn't even dare to dream of. His battle strength had increased by leaps and bounds, and his body had also opened the divine aura of his physique. My physique, what's going on? My physique, can it still evolve? Su Yin frowned. He felt that his body was filled with a divine aura, as if he was born with a physique's aura. If he wanted to continue recovering more of his divine aura, could it be that he had to devour the chi of other physiques? Su Yin didn't understand. He walked down and asked the old Taoist, "Take it slow. When you become stronger, perhaps you'll be able to unravel the secrets of his body. Right now, your body's divine aura has the might of a king's body. Normally speaking, this kind of body is already quite good and can suppress ordinary bodies." The old Taoist pondered for a while and said, "Don't think too much about your physique. You've already passed the 2nd stage. I really didn't expect you to use this method to pass. Tell me, what kind of reward do you want?" Hearing this, Su Yin was a little surprised and said, "I choose." "You need to choose for yourself. What kind of domain artifact is it?" The old Taoist priest explained, "But the rewards will be based on the difficulty of the 2nd stage. I suggest you choose something that will help your cultivation. I don't suggest you choose a weapon. The 2nd stage won't give you a weapon that's too strong." Su Yin hesitated for a moment. His body had already touched the shackles, and he needed the golden body elixir to break through the shackles. Then, his body would be able to step into the tool-building realm. Secondly, he felt that there was no need for him to cultivate his life springs anymore. The origin chi that he had absorbed from the beginning sutra had made his life springs feel like they were reaching their limits. As long as he had enough origin essence stones, he would be able to reach the peak of the life springs realm. Now, there was one more thing, which was the primordial spirit. Primordial spirit scripture? Su Yin asked. The old Taoist priest shook his head and said, "It will only be given to you if you pass the 4th stage. The reward for the strongest trial are all the best. I don't have any weak primordial spirit scripture here. I suggest you choose the primordial spirit mystery medicine." Okay, primordial spirit mystery medicine it is. Now, he could only do this. His primordial spirit's cultivation was a little slow. Su Yin couldn't help but think back to the time when he was fighting for the dragon vein chi. He had to strengthen his primordial spirit. The old Taoist priest waved his sleeve, and a jade jar appeared in his hand. He handed it to Su Yin and said, "There's soul liquid inside. Take it back and refine it. I look forward to your next visit. I can't pass the 3rd stage now." Su Yin really didn't want to leave. If he could pass the 3rd stage, he could increase his strength and obtain good things. The old Taoist priest shook his head and said, "No, if you want to pass the 3rd stage, you need to grasp some of the rules of heaven and earth." Rules of heaven and earth. Su Yin said with a dark face, "I haven't stepped into the weapon-building realm yet. I think it will be a long time before I come again. The trial field shouldn't be closed for a few years, right?" "Haha, it won't be closed for a while. The trial field will select some elites to cultivate. Of course, even if it's closed, you can still enter. The old Taoist priest laughed and said, "And who told you that you can only comprehend the rules of heaven and earth after breaking through to the weapon-building realm?" Suyin scratched his head and humbly asked for guidance. Weapon-building realm. What is weapon building? The old Taoist said seriously, "It is to temper the weapon of heaven and earth. Weapon building is the same as tempering your own body. If you don't comprehend the rules of heaven and earth, even if you build a weapon, it won't be of much use and will have to be reforged in the future. Remember, the weapon-building realm is very important. You must temper your own life weapon as strong as it can be. When the time comes, you will show the uniqueness of the weapon-building realm." The old Taoist said, "If you can perform well in the third stage, you will be rewarded with some rare materials to help you build your weapon. I will even give you some pointers." "Thank you, Senior, for your pointers. This junior understands." Suyin bowed deeply. The old Taoist priest nodded in satisfaction. He flicked his sleeves, and Su Yin disappeared. After a moment of dizziness, Su Yin appeared in a huge square. There were many cultivators here. Su Yin was surprised. When he entered the altar, he passed through the chaos ruins. But this place was different from when he entered. "It seems that I can only see the chaos ruins when I enter," Su Yin thought. This trial field was a little mysterious. Just based on the inheritances and the strength of the challengers, there were even true dragons. Only the heavens knew what kind of existence created this trial field. "There's a stone tablet." Su Yin found a huge stone tablet here. He even found that the first name was his. Su Yin walked over with interest. On the stone tablet, Su Yin had 10,000 points and was ranked first. When he saw the second name, Yuan, Su Yin's face couldn't help but twitch. His teacher was suppressed by him. Su Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When his divine soul pierced through the stone tablet, he found that there were many things that could be exchanged. After inspecting the rewards for a while, Su Yin shook his head and thought to himself, "I reckon that these rewards are meant to attract people to participate. The rewards are just average." The old Taoist also said that this training ground is meant to select some geniuses to nurture. But was there really a free lunch in this world? Although he had experienced a life and death situation, he had gained a lot. "It's clearly mine. How can it be yours?" "By Minjing, what qualifications do you have to exchange for such a good weapon? I think you're really blind. You even dare to steal my things." Hearing the words by Minjing, Su Yin frowned. He looked over and saw that there were many people in front of him. They were all pointing and whispering. "I clearly exchanged for it. How can you say that now? Give it back to me." Bai Minjing's eyes were red. Her aggrieved appearance caused the people nearby to feel sorry for her. They wanted to speak up for her, but when they saw the arrogant, silver-robed woman in front of her, they didn't dare to say anything. "You exchanged for it? What a joke. Who do you think you are, Bai Minjing? What qualifications do you have to exchange for such a good weapon?" Tong Lingshua's expression was disdainful. She was Tong Huiyin's sister. Right now, she was playing with a sparkling jade knife. This treasure was small and exquisite, and the craftsmanship was very exquisite. It emitted a dazzling green glow. This was a top-grade treasure. Although it wasn't a divine weapon, it was already a very precious treasure in the Huaxiao Alliance. Tong Lingxue played with the jade knife. Her eyes were filled with jealousy as she looked at Bai Minjing's impressive figure. Even her loose robes couldn't cover it. Bai Minjing's figure was extremely good, and her loose robes outlined her alluring curves. She said angrily, "This is my reward for passing the trial." "Tong Lingxue, don't go too far." "Tong Huiyin, that bastard has a sister?" Su Yin was like a demon king. He looked at Tong Lingxue with a cold gaze. "You passed the trial?" Tong Lingxue looked as if she had heard the world's biggest joke. She laughed like a flower. "Hee hee, you think you're worthy? You're a slut who doesn't even want Tong Yingjie. What qualifications do you have to pass the trial?" Everyone was talking about it. Who didn't know that Tong Huiyin had personally captured Bai Minjing some time ago? Tong Yingjie had also been expelled from Huaxia University. He had now joined Zhu Yan's faction. After what happened to Bai Minjing last time, the Bai family wouldn't agree to this marriage. "Lingxue, you're right. This slut has been in close contact with Su Yin since the beginning. Tung Yingjie was also here. He looked down at by Minjing with possessiveness and anger in his eyes. He said angrily, "Fortunately, I found out in time and divorced her. You don't know that this slut has been fooling around with Su Yin all day. What a scandal. As for your useless brother, Bai Xingyuan," Tung Yingjie said arrogantly, "this trash, even if he cultivated for another 10 years, he wouldn't be a match for me. You're slandering me." Bai Minjing was furious. She pointed at Tung Yingjie and said with a livid face, "Tung Yingjie, how can you be such a person? You slut." Tong Lingxue glared angrily at Bai Minjing and laughed sinisterly. "You slut who doesn't abide by the virtues of a woman. You're seducing a man outside and even disrespecting Tung Yingjie. As a woman, I feel ashamed for you." Bai Minjing was so angry that she couldn't say a word. Her face was livid. Why aren't you saying anything? Are you mute, or do you admit it?" Tong Lingxue suddenly smiled viciously. "I think I should take off your clothes and see what you're wearing inside. You only know how to seduce men all day long. Maybe you're not wearing anything inside." The surroundings were in an uproar. Everyone stared at Bai Minjing. Tong Lingxue dared to do this? Tung Yingjie was so anxious that he almost rushed forward. He wanted to personally take off her clothes. Anyway, the marriage couldn't be consummated. Tung Yingjie didn't want Bai Minjing to have an easy time. "Slut, let's see how I'll deal with you." Tong Lingxue directly rushed forward, holding a dark green knife, and slashed at her. This attack was fast, accurate, and ruthless. Tong Lingxue's eyes were full of viciousness. Not only did she want to take off Bai Minjing's clothes, but she also wanted to leave a few bloody scars on her face. After all, she was Tong Huayin's sister. Her combat strength was much higher than Bai Minjing's. "No!" Bai Minjing screamed and almost fell to the ground. Her entire body was trembling. She was frightened and didn't dare to imagine what would happen next. Rip! An ear-piercing sound and the sound of clothes being torn caused Bai Minjing's face to turn pale. She didn't dare to imagine the terrifying scene that would follow. However, the surrounding gasps of disbelief caused Bai Minjing to open her eyes. When she looked up, she was also stunned. Tong Lingxue's hair was suddenly grabbed by someone. Su Yin directly grabbed her hair and lifted her up. "I also want to see what you have inside." Su Yin's expression was ugly. Tong Lingxue was targeting Bai Minjing because he had a grudge with Tong Huayin. Chapter 114. With a wave of Su Yin's hand, the sky was filled with silver cloth. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. Bai Minjing was so frightened that she covered her red lips with her small hands. Her big eyes were wide open, and she was dumbfounded. Before Tong Lingxue could react, she felt a chill all over her body. She couldn't help but reach out her hand to touch her body. She was naked, as if she wasn't wearing anything. Tong Lingxue's brain was still short-circuited. Tung Yingjie was also dumbfounded. However, his eyes quickly turned bloodshot as he stared at Tong Lingxue's snow-white body with fiery eyes. At this moment, Tong Lingxue was only wearing a pair of underwear. Her entire body was naked, and everyone in the venue could see it clearly. "Ah!" Screams suddenly exploded in the huge square. The surrounding small groups were also shocked. They all shifted their gazes and looked over. One by one, they were all dumbstruck. The entire venue was silent. It was as if a needle falling could be heard clearly. Following that was the sound of violent heartbeats. Many men's blood vessels swelled, and they nearly went berserk. "What are you screaming for? I didn't do anything to you." Su Yin snatched back the emerald knife and threw Tong Lingxue into the crowd like she was trash. Bang, bang. A group of people raised their heads, and their eyes were wide open. Some people were so excited that their bodies were trembling. Their heartbeats could be heard clearly. Many people couldn't help but reach out their hands and catch Tong Lingxue, who was falling from the sky. Countless hands were dragging Tong Lingxue's snow-white body, as if they were afraid that she would fall. Some people were desperately touching her, while others jumped up with all their might to grab her feet, desperately retreating backward. There were too many people, and they couldn't squeeze through. Tung Yingjie found it difficult to squeeze in. His eyes were about to spit fire. He saw that Tong Lingxue was about to be devoured by a pack of hungry wolves. Su Yan. However, when Tong Yingjie noticed that the person behind the scenes was Su Yan, his expression changed. He couldn't believe that he had walked out of the training field alive. "What are you doing?" Tong Yingjie was so scared that his face changed color. He jumped up and ran back. Although he didn't know how Su Yan survived, Su Yan definitely wouldn't let him off easily. "Where do you think you're going?" A murderous intent flashed in Su Yan's eyes. He took a quick step forward, and the moment he lifted his foot, he ruthlessly kicked Tong Yingjie's body. Ah, how powerful was this blow! Tong Yingjie was kicked so hard that he almost fainted. All the bones in his body were broken. He fell to the ground like a dog and let out a mournful roar. "Su Yan, what are you doing? What are you doing? I think you, Tong Yingjie, are not a man at all." Su Yan walked over and looked down at Tong Yingjie. He said coldly, "You really can't stop a dog from eating shit. Dogs nowadays don't want to eat shit, but you can even eat shit." Su Yan. Tong Yingjie was furious. He clenched his fists and roared, "If you have the ability, give me time. Let me tell you, 30 years to the west, 30 years to the east." Before Tong Yingjie could finish his words, Su Yan's foot directly stepped on his crotch. Hiss! Tong Yingjie suddenly straightened his back. His eyes were bloodshot, and his whole body was trembling. Bai Minjing's eyes widened. A series of bone-cracking sounds. "Broken? Don't bully a poor youth. Don't tarnish this word. I think you're richer than me. Get out of my way." Su Yan kicked Tong Yingjie again and sent him flying. He turned around and left, pulling the petrified Bai Minjing with him. He didn't care about the shrill cries behind him. Su Yan also felt that it was a pity. There were too many people here. Otherwise, he would have become Tong Yingjie. "Su Yan, isn't this not very good?" When they left the Chaos Rift, Bai Minjing couldn't help but ask. Her big eyes looked at Su Yan. She vaguely felt that Su Yan had changed. His body involuntarily exuded an oppressive aura. Hearing this, Su Yan coldly snorted and said, "You still pity her? If I hadn't come in time just now, think about what would have happened to you. She's lucky that I didn't kill her." "Oh." Bai Minjing couldn't help but nod. She also couldn't help but shiver. Her original sympathy for Tong Lingxue had completely vanished. She had indeed been too vicious just now. Otherwise, Su Yan wouldn't have ruthlessly humiliated her in front of so many people. "Look at Su Yan." Hiss! Su Yan came out alive. Did he also pass the elite smelting trial? But didn't Tong Huayin say that it wouldn't take so long? I estimate that Su Yan has passed the second trial. The onlookers were all shocked and began to discuss. Su Yan was also stunned. Many youths crazily rushed in, their eyes red. It seemed that they also wanted to take a look. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They had already received a message from their communicators. Su Yan had climbed to first place in the smelting trial. Could it be that he had passed the second trial in the elite smelting trial? "Minjing, what's going on?" Su Yan frowned. Bai Minjing told Su Yan what had happened during this period of time, which made him speechless. It turned out that he was the only one who had opened the strongest smelting trial. What surprised Su Yan was that Bai Minjing had passed the second trial and obtained the best treasure. "You mean if I perform well in the third trial, I can accept the elite smelting trial?" Su Yan asked with interest. Bai Minjing said happily. She forgot what had happened just now and talked with Su Yan with great interest. However, she didn't meet anyone similar to the old Taoist. Su Yan touched his head. Could it be that this was only available in the strongest smelting trial? When they arrived at Huaxia City, Bai Minjing suddenly said, "By the way, Su Yan, Tong Lingxue is Tong Huayin's sister. He won't give up easily. You'd better hide quickly. Tong Huayin is now in Huaxia City. Tong Huayin, even if he doesn't go to me, I will go to him." A trace of coldness flashed in Su Yan's eyes. Su Yan had many masters under his command, and Tong Huayin was the strongest one among them. Su Yan really wanted to cripple him. After all, Tong Huayin's injury was healed, and he was likely to break through to the weapon-building realm. At that time, Su Yan would have more enemies. It is said that Tong Huayin's eyes are very powerful, and his combat strength has increased a lot. Bai Minjing said anxiously, "Hurry back to the college. With Warlord Xiaze here, Tong Huiyin won't dare to be presumptuous in Huaxia University. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. I'll take you home first." Su Yin was still worried, so he sent Bai Minjing back to the Bai family. When the people of the Bai family saw Su Yin, they all looked a little cold and indifferent, as if they didn't want to have anything to do with him. Su Yin was a little embarrassed. Last time, Bai Minjing's accident was directly related to him. It was strange that the Bai family would give him a good face. Moreover, Su Yin and Zhu Yin had agreed to fight. Everyone in the Bai family thought that Su Yin was seeking his own death. Look, senior brother Su Yin is back. At the gate of Huaxia University, a group of patrolling guards saw the young man in white coming here. They were surprised. Someone said excitedly, "Quickly inform the vice president that Su Yin is back." "Ha ha! Senior brother Su Yin is back alive." Now, Su Yin was the #1 person in Huaxia University. Jiang Wuhan was killed by him. Now, Su Yan's prestige in Huaxia University was very high. Ever since the news of Su Yan's death was spread everywhere, they didn't believe it. Now that they saw the real person, they gasped heavily. Su Yan was stunned. He sensed a little and found the trace of the bronze cauldron. Su Yin quickly approached in a direction. If he guessed correctly, it should be the area where the medicinal herbs were planted. Soon, Su Yin came to a small mountain with a medicinal fragrance. Su Yin carefully avoided the patrolling guards and quietly climbed up the mountain. It was very quiet at the top of the mountain. Tai Baokai was sitting on the ground lazily with his back facing Su Yin. His 2 big ears were pricked up. What is this guy doing? Su Yin looked around, and his face was a little dark. Tai Baokai was secretly eating medicinal herbs here. He's still eating? Su Yan's face was dark. He quietly walked up and looked at the fat body with its back facing him. When he felt the aura in Tai Baocai's body grow stronger, Su Yan's face changed. What good stuff did he eat? Tai Baokai was squatting here and eating secretly. Its fur was as sparkling and translucent as satin, and every strand of hair was emitting a multicolored light. Tai Baokai! Su Yin roared in Tai Baocai's ear. If the school found out that Tai Baokai was secretly eating medicinal herbs, even he couldn't avoid being reprimanded. Tai Baokai was scared half to death. It rolled and got up. It turned its head with a dumbfounded expression and saw a palm coming down from the sky. The palm contained a lot of power. Tai Baokai quickly raised its paw to attack. Who knew that Su Yan's other hand would reach over and snatch the bronze cauldron and run away with it? Su Yan, stop right there. Tai Baokai was so angry that it jumped up and ran wildly, chasing after Su Yan. It's this Tai Baokai again, and Su Yan? That can't be right. Su Yan wouldn't come here to steal medicinal herbs. It must be Tai Baokai. This bastard is secretly eating again. No, I have to report this to the dean. He must expel Tai Baokai from the school. He can't be allowed to stay in the school and harm us. The steward guarding the medicinal herb mountain was so angry that he almost fainted. This mountain had been visited by Tai Baokai many times, and many precious medicinal herbs had entered Tai Baocai's stomach. What kind of rice is this? Su Yin ran down the mountain. When he saw the grains of rice in the cauldron, he sucked in a breath of cold air. These grains of rice were sparkling and translucent. Every grain of rice was like a star that had shrunk countless times. Each grain was brilliant and surrounded by the light of the stars. Su Yin was stunned. What kind of rice was this? Where did Tai Baokai get it? Who angered that scoundrel Tai Baokai? Ha! It's senior brother Su Yin. I knew that senior brother Su Yin would be fine. The students passing by couldn't help but laugh. Tai Baokai had caused too much trouble during this period of time. Many students in the school wanted to send this god of plague away. They couldn't afford to raise this national treasure. Su Yin took out some rice and wolfed it down. Crunch! Although the rice was tough, Su Yan's teeth were very good. He chewed with all his might. When the energy contained within the rice was released, Su Yan's entire body was covered in the bright light of the stars. This light of the stars contained the divine essence of the stars. Strands of the divine essence of the stars nourished Su Yan's entire body, nourishing his flesh and blood. At this moment, Su Yan's sealed shackles showed signs of loosening. Su Yan was stunned. This rice was too amazing. Where did Tai Baokai steal this rice from? Su Yan felt that this rice wasn't inferior to dragon blood rice. Su Yan, you bastard! Don't eat it. I still have a use for this rice. Tai Baokai wanted to spit out a mouthful of old blood. It charged forward, but it realized that Su Yan's speed was too fast. Tai Baokai couldn't catch up even if it used all its strength. It let out a wolf howl. Baokai, do you know how to grow this rice? You better give me a clear explanation. Otherwise, I will eat all the rice. Chapter 115. Amazing. Is this star rice? Su Yan's body was flowing with the divine splendor of the stars. His pores were spewing out starlight, and his whole body was radiating brilliance. This kind of rice was very mystical. It dissolved into a divine liquid that contained the pure divine power of the stars. It began to nourish his blood and bones. This kind of divine power had a miraculous effect on Su Yan's body. It seemed that if he ate this kind of rice for a long time, he would evolve to the level of the star treasure body. This was a little shocking. Su Yan wanted to know where the Tai Baokai got this kind of rice. If he could eat it for a long time, it would be amazing. Stop eating, you bastard. I'll tell you. The Tai Baokai was so angry that its face turned green. It couldn't catch up with Su Yan. This guy is getting impatient. Su Yan laughed in spite of himself. He didn't eat anymore. There were more than 300 grains of rice in this bronze cauldron. Each grain was sparkling and translucent, like a piece of star sand. It was extremely mystical. The Tai Baokai ran up with a black face. Seeing that there was still a lot of rice left, the Tai Baokai let out a sigh of relief. It then looked at Su Yan and asked in astonishment, Brat, how did you come out alive? Blue veins popped out on Su Yan's forehead. Did this Tai Baokai think that he couldn't come back alive? Tell me, what's up with this kind of rice? Su Yan asked directly. Don't tell me that it has nothing to do with the bronze cauldron. Tell me honestly, how much of this kind of rice did you secretly hide? What do you mean by secretly hiding? The Tai Baokai screamed, This is star rice. What kind of rice do you think it is? More than 300 grains of star rice in the current cultivation environment is already a huge fortune. Brat, you secretly ate a lot of it just now. I haven't asked you. How did your strength increase so much? Could it be that you've activated the strongest trial? Tai Baocai's ears perked up. It wanted to know what Su Yan had experienced in the trial field. It had faintly discovered that Su Yan's physique had changed, and it now contained a king's aura. This made Tai Baocai's heart pound. How had Su Yan suddenly evolved into a king's body? Stop interrupting me. If you don't explain everything clearly, I won't let you use the bronze cauldron. Su Yan turned around and rushed to his residence in Yuan. Su Yan, don't go. Let's discuss this properly. If you let me use the bronze cauldron for a while, I'll tell you the secret of the training grounds. Tai Baokai hurriedly chased after them. However, when they approached Yuan's residence, Su Yan and Tai Baocai's hair stood on end. Don't speak, Tai Baokai sternly said. Su Yan also held his breath. In the space in front of them, waves after waves of extremely terrifying auras seeped out. It was like a gigantic mountain of gods and demons towering in front of them. When it revolved, it could crush the world. Su Yan and Tai Baokai were both shocked by the power emanating from Yuan's body. At this moment, they felt like their bodies were about to split apart. Teacher has comprehended the laws of heaven and earth. Su Yan's face lit up. At this moment, Yuan's aura was majestic. It was like a gigantic mountain of gods and demons towering between heaven and earth. It rippled with suffocating fluctuations. His entire body was a little blurry. It was wrapped in countless strands of the laws of heaven and earth. As Yuan punched, the surroundings rumbled. The laws spread out from within, and they were filled with monstrous strength. Furthermore, his entire bronze body was surrounded by the aura of a king. It was like a king among men that was about to break out of his cocoon. Teacher, Yuan's king physique divine aura. Su Yan was shocked. Could it be that only by comprehending the laws of heaven and earth could one open their physique divine treasure? But how did he do it one step ahead of them? Boom! Yuan's aura changed. He turned into a divine tiger that was majestic. His entire body emitted blurry laws of heaven and earth. However, in Su Yan's spiritual world, it was like a divine tiger that was the size of a mountain had manifested. It was a very shocking manifestation. Yuan's every move caused the laws of heaven and earth to fluctuate. His body faintly had an extremely strong potential seeping into it. It was like a dormant dragon that was about to soar into the sky. This Yuan is really impressive. He doesn't have a life spring, but he can still activate the laws of heaven and earth. Tai Baokai was shocked. His future is incredible. He might really become a martial god. It seems like he obtained some good fortune in the training grounds. If teacher Yuan's life spring can be repaired, he definitely won't be inferior to Zhu Yan. Zhu Yan clenched his fists tightly. He looked at the star rice in the cauldron. If Yuan ate all this star rice, he should be able to open the checkpoint in one go, right? Brat, what are you doing? Tai Baokai anxiously stomped his feet and said, "Don't do anything rash. Yuan is currently comprehending the Tao. If you disturb him, he will withdraw from the state of being one with the heavens and earth. This is a great opportunity. Don't wake him up." Su Yan frowned. He felt that Tai Baocai's words were somewhat reasonable. Su Yan, don't disturb Yuan's cultivation during this period of time. At this moment, Xia Zhe appeared. He held a set of ancient array flags in his hand and threw them forward. The 18 array flags neatly inserted themselves around Yuan. The moment they awakened, the array flags turned into an ancient array and created a barrier that sealed off the area. It even concealed the source of Yuan's power. This set of ancient array flags is very powerful. Su Yan was relieved. Now that the array was concealing him, Yuan's breakthrough would be much smoother. Xia Zhe's eyes stared deeply at Su Yan. He faintly discovered that Su Yan's body was filled with an astonishing charm. This shocked him. Su Yan, what kind of test did you undergo in the training grounds? Su Yan didn't hide anything and told him about the strongest test. This stunned Xia Zhe. There was actually another strongest test. Xia Zhe didn't ask much. He only reminded Su Yan not to forget about the arranged battle with Zhu Yan. Su Yan's potential is indeed heaven-defying, but Zhu Yan is about to step into the Tao Gate realm. Even if Su Yan's cultivation speed is very fast, it will be very difficult for him to catch up with Zhu Yan. 1 year is too short. It will take a long time to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. If Yuan manages to break through the checkpoint, with my and Yuan's combat strength, we should be able to contend with Zhu Yan, right? When the time comes, we will try our best to stall for time. I hope it won't be too bad. Xia Zhe sighed. He knew that Su Yan was forced into a corner. Otherwise, he wouldn't have chosen a fight with Zhu Yan. If it was a few years, Zhu Yan wouldn't be able to wait. Therefore, Su Yan could only choose to fight to the death in 1 year. Along the way, Su Yan interrogated Tai Baokai about the star rice. Tai Baokai insisted that he bought it at a bargain. Su Yan didn't believe him at all. He felt that it had something to do with the bronze cauldron. I'm going to break through to the 8th heaven fate spring and break through to the 9th heaven as soon as possible. Su Yan went to the training tower. He estimated that he would only be able to operate the training tower after his fate spring broke through to the 9th heaven. However, this level of treasure required too much divine power. Even if he could control it, it would consume a lot of divine power. I'll cultivate and reach the peak of the Fate Spring realm as soon as possible. Then, I'll think of a way to refine the golden body elixir. Su Yan took out hundreds of origin essence stones and let his Fate Spring devour them. He was now very close to the 8th heaven and would break through soon. Su Yan was still worried about the golden body potion. With Lu Chengtian's alchemy skills, it would be difficult to refine it. If he could successfully refine a furnace of golden body potion and cultivate the golden body furnace, his combat strength would definitely increase by a lot. Just as Su Yan was crazily devouring the origin essence stone's essence. The entire Huaxia Alliance's major factions were having a headache. Tong Lingshua's news had already spread. The news of Su Yin coming out alive had also spread. This is too explosive. Is Su Yin crazy? How dare he beat up Tong Lingxue like this? Damn it, I wasn't there. Someone beat his chest and stomped his feet, hating himself for not being lucky enough to see it. According to the latest news, Tong Lingxue has already run into the training tower. She's probably too embarrassed to see anyone. I wonder what Tong Huayin will do. Tong Huayin passed the elite trial. His injuries have also healed. Even his silver pupils have transformed into treasure eyes. His combat strength has increased by a lot. You guys still don't know, right? Su Yan's ranking in the training tower has already rushed to the first place. A series of news made the young men's faces turn ugly. Now, Su Yan was meditating to break through to the next level. But now, Su Yan had taken the first place in the Awakening Realm's potential, the first place in combat strength, and even the first place in the training tower had fallen to Su Yan. Su Yan, get the hell out of here. On this day, the Huaxia city trembled violently. The monstrous flames were about to swallow the sky. The sky was full of silver light flowing out and burning, turning the whole street into ashes. It's Tong Huayin. The surrounding people's faces were abnormal. They saw Tong Huayin rushing to Huaxia University in a rage. Get the hell out of here. His silver pupils were swirling with resplendent, precious splendor. It was as if a silver killing sword was unsheathed here, easily able to shatter the skies. Tong Huayin's strength was self-evident. Not only had he recovered from his injuries, but his combat strength had also increased a lot. At this moment, he was furious and rushed to Huaxia University. The guards outside Huaxia University were all shocked. At this moment, Tong Huayin was like a silver furnace burning here, causing their blood to dry up. They all felt as if they had been struck by lightning, and they couldn't stop Tong Huayin's footsteps. The gate of Huaxia University was almost burned down. Dong, dong, dong. Suddenly, from the depths of Huaxia University, rolling golden ripples suddenly swept out, containing the terrible power of the rules of heaven and earth. In an instant, it covered the whole Huaxia University. The heaven stabilizer bell was awakened. This giant bell was like a mountain, and it was thrown out in an instant. No matter how strong Tong Huayin was under the power of the heaven stabilizer bell, he was about to be crushed. Humph! A cold voice exploded, which made Tong Huayin's mind about to collapse. He clenched his fists, and his face turned pale. At this time, Xiaozhe stepped out with the heaven stabilizer bell above his head. His whole body was emitting an aura that could pierce the sky, like a divine spear that was slowly awakening. Tong Huayin, how dare you break into Huaxia University? Believe it or not, I will execute you on the spot. Xiaozhe's expression was cold. It was too easy for him to kill Tong Huayin. Cultivators from all over Huaxia City came and pointed at Tong Huayin. They were trembling when they saw that Tong Huayin was about to be suppressed by Xiaozhe. Xiaozhe, Tong Huayin's face was ferocious. He suppressed his fear and roared, "We are both in the top 10. Don't go too far. You are stronger than me now, but it doesn't mean you will be stronger than me in the future." Tong Huayin, how dare you disrespect the dean? Do you want me to play with you? Lu Peng and Lu Qingtian stepped out. Both of them had stepped into the weapon-building realm, and their strength had skyrocketed. Now, in the Huaxia Alliance, there were more and more weapon-building realm masters. It was no surprise that Lu Peng and Lu Qingtian had stepped into this realm. Ridiculous. You dare to provoke me? Are you qualified? Tong Huayin was furious. He was one of the top 10 masters. Although Lu Qingtian and Lu Peng had broken through, Tong Huayin still didn't take them seriously. Xiaozhe, I just want to ask you one question. Are you going to cover up for Su Yin? Tong Huayin said angrily. He has targeted me time and time again. Now he dares to target me, Tong Lingxue. I, Tong Huayin, have contributed greatly to the Huaxia Alliance. However, Su Yin has no respect for the law. He must be punished. If you have the ability, ask him to come out. I want to see if you, Su Yin, want to overturn the heavens. I just want to ask you one question. Su Yin, you coward, Do you dare to come out? Do you dare? Tong Huayin. The fat man ran out and said angrily, You still have the face to say this? You're used to bullying the weak, aren't you? If you have the ability, why don't you challenge War God Xiaze? And what kind of contributions have you made? Why don't I know about it? Does Huaxia University still have any rules? A little bug dares to slander me in front of my face. Xiaze, you have taught me well. You may be the strongest person now, but don't forget that even when Zhu Yan was the strongest person, he didn't do anything excessive. You, Xiaze, are amazing now. Do you think you're the overlord of the Huaxia Alliance? Let me tell you, War God Zhu Yan is still alive. If you want to condone your disciples' evil deeds, you should ask War God Zhu Yan first. Tong Huayin's words made people from Huaxia University laugh coldly. Evil deeds? You are one of the top 10 strongest people. Why don't you talk about this when you beat on my brother? And that Tong Ling Xue, she brazenly stole by Minjing's treasure. I only strip her naked as a punishment. Why are you so anxious? Su Yin, get out here. Tong Huayin's eyes were about to pop out. His body was burning with silver flames. He was so angry that he was about to explode. Why? Do you still want to challenge me? Su Yin sneered. You are not worthy of me challenging you. Tong Huayin said disdainfully. Who do you think you are? I, Tong Huayin, can crush you as easily as crushing an ant. A few months ago, if you didn't use unorthodox methods, you wouldn't be qualified to fight me. You're just a loser. What's the point of saying this? Su Yin sneered. This reply made Tong Huayin so angry that he almost couldn't breathe. He said angrily, Come out if you dare. Do you dare to come out? You're a piece of trash. Let me tell you, you are a piece of trash in my eyes. Tong Huayin, I know you have always wanted to kill me. Su Yin swaggered out and said in a cold voice, Come, I'll give you a chance to see reality clearly. No. Chapter 116. Lu Peng and the others were shocked. They wanted to go over and stop Su Yin, but the power of the heaven-stabilizing bell that Xia Zhe controlled bound them in space. Could it be? Lu Qingtian and the others were overjoyed. Xia Zhe was stopping them. Did this mean that Su Yin now had the power to fight Tong Huayin? The scene of Su Yin walking out of the school and confronting Tong Huayin. It also petrified the onlookers, who didn't know what to say. After all, Tong Huayin was one of the 10 great elites. Although Su Yin was a genius, how many years had he cultivated? How could he fight Tong Huayin? Although Su Yin almost killed Tong Huayin a few months ago, they all knew that it was because Su Yin borrowed the power of an ancient array. Ha ha! Su Yin. Oh, Su Yin, you really are a newborn calf that isn't afraid of tigers. You asked for it. Tong Huayin looked up to the sky and laughed. His body was covered in silver flames. He said coldly, Look carefully. Su Yin came out his own accord. No one forced him. I hope that outsiders won't interfere. Let Su Yin fight me like a man. As soon as he said that, the faces of the onlookers darkened. Su Yin just stood there and curled his finger at Tong Huayin. Tai Baokai wanted to beat Su Yin up. He was too arrogant. Su Yin, you still dare to humiliate me. The silver flames on Tong Huayin's body erupted. There was a silver furnace burning inside his body. The flames that filled the sky were like lava spewing out from a volcano. They rushed towards Su Yin in an instant, spreading the blazing aura of a true dragon. Tong Huayin, is that all you've got? I think it's you who should come and fight with me like a man. Su Yin stood still. His entire body was flowing with brilliant golden light. It was as if he had turned into an ancient god. His limbs and bones were covered with a layer of hazy golden divine light, which was surrounded by an extremely domineering and terrifying strength. His fleshly shell, which was the source of his power, was able to block the flames that were pressing down on him. The onlookers were horrified. Just how strong was Su Yan's physical body? Could it be that he had already stepped into the weapon-building realm? Wasn't this kind of cultivation speed too abnormal? Don't be complacent. I have a way to kill you. Tong Huayin swooped down. The moment his silver pupils opened, they were like 2 bolts of silver lightning. The aura he emitted instantly locked onto Su Yan's body. At this moment, Su Yan felt like he was being suppressed. He was a little surprised. This silver pupil was indeed a little strange. Boom! Tong Huayin couldn't help but be pleasantly surprised. This was the first time he had used his silver pupils. Xiaozhe probably didn't know that even an ordinary 9th-level Fate Spring expert could be locked onto by his silver pupils. This way, Tong Huayin could quickly kill Su Yan. Xiaozhe wouldn't be able to stop him. Die! Tong Huayin roared in his heart. His battle prowess suddenly soared to the peak. He bathed in silver flames, surging violently like a tidal wave. The moment he attacked, silver flames filled the sky, drowning out the vast sky. No, the fatty was so frightened that his entire body trembled. He saw that the silver flames were about to swallow Su Yan, but Su Yan didn't move at all. Xiaozhe was also a little worried. Just as he was about to intervene, his pupils constricted. There was a trace of shock in his eyes. Some people could feel that in Su Yan's limbs and bones, layers of terrifying strength suddenly curled up. When the Initiation Sutra was activated, Su Yan had awakened from inside out. Wong. His entire body was dazzling with golden light. He opened his blood essence at its peak. This was the awakening of the sun opening fist power. His entire body faintly transformed into a golden ancient star. The power emanating from him caused the flames in the sky to distort. Dong! Su Yan's pupils suddenly widened. His every movement was filled with a domineering power that could destroy everything. His palm formed a fist seal, and the sound of a mountain torrential flood was transmitted from his body. The wavering light fist arrived in a flash, and at the moment it smashed into the sky, people saw thousands of golden lightning bolts break through the sky, blasting apart the silver flames that filled the sky. This fist's ferocious aura filled the sky. It smashed towards Tong Huayin like a hot knife through butter. The rolling wind from the fist made Tong Huayin feel like he was about to explode. There was a trace of shock in his eyes. He immediately activated his life-bound artifact, the Silver Furnace, and smashed it towards Su Yan's fist. But Su Yan's fist was as fast as lightning. It smashed into the Silver Furnace. Dong! One after another, loud explosions reverberated throughout the area. Only Xiaozhe could clearly see that Su Yan's strength had risen once again. It was a very terrifying manifestation. He was like a golden star that smashed into the Silver Furnace. Pong! The moment the golden ripples spread out under the dumbfounded gazes of the surrounding people, this fist was resplendent with golden light. Its strength pierced through the sky and instantly soared to the limit. It flowed with a domineering aura. Boom! Su Yan's fist smashed forward, causing the world to tremble. The Silver Furnace was blasted apart by Su Yan's fist. As for Tong Huayin, he was sent flying. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and fell far away. Under the startled gazes of the surrounding people, Su Yan walked towards Tong Huayin. Step after step, each step carried with it a strength that could shatter the sky. At this moment, Su Yan seemed to be pushing a golden star. The ferocious aura gushed out, wanting to tear Tong Huayin to pieces. No, Tong Huayin was terrified. His scalp tingled and his entire body trembled. His hands pushed against the ground as he retreated. Su Yan walked forward step by step. His eyes stared into Tong Huayin's eyes. In the next moment, Tong Huayin's silver pupils began to distort. This was because he could see Su Yan's spiritual world. It was like a blood-red purgatory had been born, wanting to swallow him whole. Su Yan had fought for 10 days and 10 nights in the second stage of the trial. His spiritual will had undergone a metamorphosis. Just this ominous aura alone was enough to cause Tong Huayin to tremble in fear. Weapon-building realm. Su Yan turned and left. He frowned. Why had Tong Huayin been defeated? It was because his weapon building was too poor. Su Yan's fist had destroyed his destiny artifact. It could be imagined that in the weapon-building realm, he had to carefully ponder over it. It seemed that going to the strongest trial was a must. The onlookers sucked in a breath of cold air. Tong Huayin had been defeated with a single fist. His weapon-building realm cultivation had vanished without a trace. Everyone could see that Tong Huayin's aura was rapidly weakening. He was constantly coughing up blood, and his entire body was trembling. How is this possible? Tong Huayin had fought an illustrious battle. He didn't dare to utter a single word. There was a trace of fear in his heart. How could his battle strength be so strong? The onlookers didn't know what to say. Tong Huayin had come with great fanfare to challenge Su Yan. He wanted to regain his face, but in the end, his destiny artifact had been destroyed by Su Yan's fist. This was just too shameful. Lu Qingtian and Lu Peng were speechless. With Su Yan's current battle strength, how many people in the entire Huaxia University could fight with him? Tong Huayin's subordinates quickly ran over and dragged him away. The onlookers were silent. Just how strong was Su Yan now? Tong Huayin's destiny artifact had been destroyed by his fist. Moreover, his cultivation level had dropped. Even if he was lucky enough to cultivate back up, he wouldn't be able to keep up with the leader's footsteps. Big news! Tong Huayin has been defeated by Su Yan with a single fist. The entire Huaxia Alliance trembled. This was Tong Huayin, one of the Huaxia Alliance's top 10 experts. Now that his destiny artifact had been destroyed by Su Yan with a single fist, it caused a huge uproar. Su Yan, could it be that he has already stepped into the weapon-building realm? His cultivation speed is too fast. Could it be that the power of 10,000 horses is real? Could it be that the future Su Yan will be able to compete with War God Zhu Yan? Don't forget, War God Zhu Yan still hasn't broken through to the weapon-building realm. In other words, the current Su Yan isn't afraid of Tong Huayin at all. Can Su Yan be conferred the title of War God? The various powers were dumbfounded. The news that came out was unbelievable. Su Yan could even defeat Tong Huayin with a single fist. According to their speculations, how many people in the Huaxia Alliance could fight with Su Yan? Some of the younger generation felt uncomfortable and suffocated. It was hard to imagine how strong Su Yan was. This huge storm swept through the Huaxia Alliance. Before, they thought that Su Yan was courting death by challenging Zhu Yan. But now, they didn't think so anymore. Perhaps Su Yan really could compete with Zhu Yan, and the training field attracted even more attention. Some people speculated that the reason why Su Yan improved so quickly was definitely related to the strongest trial. For a time, even more geniuses came to the training field. A few days later, the Underground Commerce Alliance organized an auction. Su Yan also went to participate. Among them were the 3 divine weapons that he took out. The only thing I need for the Golden Body Furnace is the Earth Milk. I can't find it. I have a total of 1,300 Origin Essence Stones now. It's enough for me to reach the 9th level of the Life Spring stage. I can also cultivate the Origin Brush. Don't worry about the Origin Brush. Where can I find the Earth Milk? Even if I can find it, with Lu Chengtian's alchemy skills, it will be difficult to succeed. Su Yan was having a headache. Only by cultivating the Golden Body Furnace could Su Yan break through the barrier of the weapon-building stage with his physical body. By then, he could forge his own natal artifact. Then, his combat power would be stronger, and he would be qualified to fight with Zhu Yan in the future. Rumble. In the early morning of this day, all the major bases of the Huaxia Alliance, including the entire Huaxia city, were shocked by the aura that was born between heaven and earth. Xiaze had a bad feeling. He walked out and saw that in the direction of the source, thousands of strands of the laws of heaven and earth were falling down and drowning the area within 100 miles. This was an unimaginable scene. It was an awe-inspiring shadow sitting in a meditative pose like an ancient deity. His body emitted waves after waves of deafening noises. This is... Tai Baokai looked in the direction of the source. He sensed that a door was about to open in Tai Baotsai's body. Tai Baotsai's face turned serious. Things were out of his expectation. The faintly discernible gate within Zhu Yan's body was extremely majestic, as though it was the residence of an ancient divine being. The aura it exuded caused the world to change colors and the sun and moon to dim down. Even ancient phenomenons were revealed. Gosh, the god of war Zhu Yan is so terrifying. He has reached the Tao Gate stage.